welcome to Ariel Helwani's MMA Show.
Back in your life on this Monday, June 3rd, 2019. Hello again, everyone. I'm Ariel Helwani. Welcome back to the program. Hope you had a lovely weekend. This, my friends, is going to be a special day. You know, usually around this time, 1 o'clock Eastern on Monday, I have that sort of tingly feeling in my stomach, the butterflies. I'm typically an anxious person. I've told you this before. But today, my friends, is different. Today, it's a little bit of tingles. It's a little bit of excitement. It's a little bit of anxiety. It's all those things and more. There's a lot going on in this belly today, my friends, because it is a special day. As you have probably heard or seen by now, today's show is essentially 2 years in the making. I have been doing this show for 10 years. I believe June 17th will mark the 10th birthday of this show, which is kind of absurd. We started in a closet at AOL, and we made it all the way to ESPN. You know about all the stops in between. In the history of the show, we have done 2 Nate Diaz specials. You remember them probably. They were on Wednesday afternoons. They were 1 hour or so long. They were pretty magical. One in 2016, the other one 2017. Ever since the one in 2017, I have tried to get Nate back on the show. As you can probably guess, it is not very easy to get Nate on this show. He doesn't do a lot of interviews and typically likes to shy away from the limelight. That drought ends today. Later on, we will be joined by Nate Diaz, and there's so much to talk to him about. He is truly one of the needle movers, dare I say, in this sport. He's a special character, and we know he's coming back August 17th in Anaheim against Anthony Pettis. A few weeks ago, we actually spoke to Anthony about it. You know, it's a very personal fight. As I drop my happy war. See, this is the problem with moving your hand so much. You drop things, you hit things that are around you. But yes, Nate Diaz, Anthony Pettis, that's going down later on today. It's going to be a supersized Nate Diaz interview in around an hour and a half. I can't wait. And of course, we are coming off a very busy weekend in combat sports. I remember telling you last week on the Tuesday episode, we were coming off a quiet weekend. That wasn't the case this past weekend. We had the UFC back in Sweden. What a main event. Anthony Smith defeating Alexander Gustafsson in the main event. And then afterwards, Alexander Gustafsson retired. Took off his gloves, put him in the center of the cage, said goodbye, said the show is over. Wow. What a moment. On ESPN.com right now, I have some thoughts on Smith, on Gustafsson, on some other notables from the card. Makwan Amirkhani with the big win. Alexander Rakic with the big win. And so if you want to check those out, go to my random thoughts on ESPN.com. And of course, how about Andy Ruiz Jr.? Yes, that is a boxing story, but we love combat sports, and we love a good Cinderella story. That was beautiful. Defeated Anthony Johnson. The super fight, at least for now, up in smoke. But this, to me, hey, look, if those promoters don't want to make money, if they want to put Joshua and Wilder together, then I don't care. Give me the Andy Ruizes of the world. I love stories like that. So this is going to be great. There's so much going on. And of course, UFC 238 this weekend in Chicago. And later on in the show, I'll tell you about the lineup that we have for you June 7th, the night before the event in Chicago. Link it all. Sold out. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be incredible. I can't wait. All right, let me get to the lineup, and then we'll get to our first guest of the day. Again, Nate Diaz, 2:30, live and in living color. Can't wait. As Dr. Dre once said, sit back, relax, strap on your seatbelt. You've never been on a ride like this before. Also, speaking of California rappers, how about Urijah Faber? Not the best transition, but California likes to party. You get the whole thing. He's back. Ricky Simone. July 13th, Sacramento. Urijah Faber will join us. We'll talk to him about that fight. 145 will be joined by Bam Bam Tai Tuivasa. Yes, returning to Chicago. Coming off the first loss of his pro career, he fights Blagoy Ivanov. This Saturday, we'll talk to him about that and a whole lot more. And Triple G, Gennady Golovkin, one of the greatest boxers of all time, coming off the first pro loss of his career. He fights Canadian Steve Rolls this Saturday at MSG. We'll talk to Triple G, Kazakhstan's own, at 125. But first, do we have our first guest lined up? All right. Let us say hello to this man, Anthony Smith. You'll recall last couple months, I questioned this man, and not because I didn't have faith in his skills, not because I didn't have faith in his heart, but I was concerned. There were some things said that I thought maybe, he was coming back a little too soon. Well, that shows just how much I know, and that shows that I can never even dream, even fathom being a fighter, because fighters are just on a whole other level. They possess heart, they possess testicular fortitude that I cannot even wrap my head around, and you saw that on display Saturday in Stockholm. Anthony Smith walked into enemy territory and submitted Alexander Gustafsson. He may have retired him as well. Let's say hello to Lionheart Anthony Smith, who joins us right now. Anthony, how are you?
I'm good, Ariel. How are you?
Oh, it is a pleasure. And you did say at the end of last week's interview, I'll talk to you on Monday before you disappear for a few months. So I appreciate you being a man of your word, and I'm happy that you're back home. And I think I see that you're joined by some company over there. So it's great to see that you're with your family as well. If I can ask right off the top, how is your hand feeling?
It's not good. It's swollen like a softball, and actually, my fiance and my kids are taking me to my doctor's appointment right now, and we're gonna go see how bad it is.
Okay, are you in a lot of pain?
Yeah, it's pretty bad. It's probably the worst broken hand I've ever had. So, I mean, I guess we'll see when we get there and see what the X-rays look like.
And how many broken hands have you had?
This would be like my 6th or 7th.
Wow. All in the same hand?
No. I think 2 on this hand before, but not in the same place. And then I've had several surgeries on my right hand.
Okay. And do you have any idea when exactly you broke it?
Yeah, I think I said initially that it happened in the first round, but once I watched it back, it was actually the second round. It was a big kind of step through overhand left, and it must have hit him right on the top of his forehead. I know that Paul Felder actually said something in the commentary that he was hoping that I didn't hurt my hand, but I suppose I did.
Wow. And when you actually connected, could you tell right away that it was broken?
Yeah, I knew right away. As soon as I landed the punch, I could feel I felt the pop, and then I went to open and close my hand again, and I could feel it clicking and the bones moving around.
I was kind of sort of like, easing into this because I wanted you to say like, hey, you a-hole, next time, shut up. Don't doubt me. Don't question me. Don't question my heart. This is your opportunity to do that. Now we may have lost Anthony. Maybe we can reconnect with him. Yeah, let's try to call back Anthony because I know he's en route to the hospital, and I appreciate him doing this. This will probably be the last time that we talk to him for quite some time because he says that he wants to take a break. So you just heard he said that he broke his hand in the second round, not the first round. But this fight went 4 rounds, and you could tell early on that maybe he wasn't exactly feeling. Like it looked like he needed a couple of minutes just to get going. But then towards the end of the fight, he really put it all together. And I thought he had an amazing quote about that in the press release that the UFC put out. They usually put out these quotes about, the moments after a fight, they put out these quotes. And Anthony said essentially that, at first he was overthinking, he was overanalyzing. And then he just said, to hell with it all. I'm just going to fight. And then boom, he fights and you see what happens. He ends up submitting Alexander Gustafsson. And you could hear quite literally a pin drop in that arena, the Ericsson Globe on Saturday, because everyone, I wasn't there, but it reminded me a lot of the vibe that we heard when Alex got knocked out by Rumble Johnson. Let's see if he is back. Anthony, are you there?
Yeah, sorry about that, Ariel. We're driving through some bad areas. Apparently.
No problem at all. Again, I appreciate you doing this. So I was saying I wanted to give you the opportunity to shove it in my face for questioning whether or not this was the right decision. If you'd like to do that, I'm game.
No, that's all right, man. I told you before that I could tell that your worry was from a genuine, and it was from a good place. It wasn't saying that I wasn't prepared or that I wasn't good enough. I think you just honestly, it felt like you were just worried that I was jumping back in too soon.
Yes.
Which I'll never get mad that someone's worried about me more as a person, not necessarily saying I'm not good enough. You know what I mean? So I'm good with it, man. I was never offended.
Now that the fight is over, because I understand like when you're approaching the fight and preparing for the fight, it's a different mindset. But now that the fight is actually over, could you tell us, were you doubting yourself? Did you feel a little different considering how you felt after that Jones fight?
No, not at all. I felt really, really good. Training camp went well. You know, I had some bumps and bruises that I had to deal with kind of through the training camp, but it wasn't anything that I'm not used to dealing with. You know, I kind of have some chronic injuries that I've kind of put off to the side, and I haven't let myself have any time to get those things taken care of. But, you know, maybe this broken hand is a blessing in disguise. You know, no matter what I want or what the UFC wants or whatever, I don't have a choice. I have to take a break and get this fixed. So I might as well get the other stuff fixed as well.
It did seem, as I was saying when we were trying to reconnect with you, that at the beginning of the fight, it took you some time to get going. And there was a moment even when you were looking over to your corner, and I think the broadcast crew was wondering what was going on. Do you remember that sequence, and why were you doing that?
You know, I've never done that before. I think I was just tuned in to what they were saying. And I don't, you know, for people that have never been in that arena, it is insanely loud. And I mean, honestly, part of it's because there's 18,000 people there, but it's really, really tall, and it's just so loud in there. So I could catch what Mark was saying, but I couldn't quite catch the end of it. So I would just look over, and sometimes it's a little easier to understand what he's saying if you could maybe try to read his lips. I don't know. I've never done that before. Probably not the smartest thing to do now looking back at it.
Well, it's interesting because I remember you telling me that you didn't have a game plan. You were just going in there to fight, and then I saw you looking at your corner. So I wasn't sure if you were trying to tell them something, or maybe you did actually have a game plan, and what you told me on Monday wasn't 100% accurate.
No, there was no solid game plan, but I'm still going to listen to the advice and the instruction of my coaches. You know, that's never going to change. So most of those instructions that they give during the fight, they're kind of on the fly adjustments, you know? So if I'm doing something that to me seems like it's working or you know, something that I could score with and he wants to make an adjustment to it, then he's absolutely going to do that. And I think that the fight went perfect. You know, it wasn't the prettiest thing in the world, but for me, that's exactly what I wanted. I wanted to go in and I wanted to feel him out and kind of problem solve on the fly. And that's kind of why I started a little bit slow, and I had to work out of, you know, whatever BS I was dealing with from the John thing. You know, I kind of started it similar, where I was watching too much and I was being, you know, defensively sound, but I really wasn't letting it go. But some of that's Alex too. You know, you can feel in there that he's setting traps. So you, on top of trying to figure out what he's doing and defending it, you know, you got to try to figure out the puzzle that he's got in front of you as well.
The broken hand is the left, correct?
Yeah.
How much did that affect after you broke it in the second round, third and fourth? Obviously, you win in the fourth, but how much did you have to actually change your attack because of it?
A little bit. You know, I still threw it just so that he didn't know that it was injured. I didn't want him to think that he could just wade in with only having one weapon up top to deal with. So, you know, I actually landed a couple really nice body shots with it afterwards that were extremely, extremely painful. But I wasn't able to land the check hooks like I wanted to and really get my jab going. So I just had to kind of feint it. But, you know, I wish I could make an excuse and say that it changed the whole game, but it really didn't. You know, I just kept throwing it.
Just curious, did you tell your corner that you broke your hand in between rounds?
I told Mark Montoya right away, and he said, "All right, well, I guess we're throwing elbows." I said, "Nah, I'll just keep throwing it." And he just kind of looked at me like, "Oh, all right, whatever."
Have you ever experienced, I mean, 18,000 is pretty unique, but it was so quiet in there when he tapped. It was amazing. It was like no one was actually in the arena. Have you ever experienced like a fun, it's just, it must be a weird feeling. You're ecstatic, you're over the moon, and the whole place just becomes dead silent.
Yeah, you know, I didn't really feel that ecstatic feeling afterwards. I mean, obviously I was really, really happy and really relieved that it all worked out and that I was able to do it. But honestly, I kind of felt bad for him. You know, that's why I rolled him over, and I wanted to have a few words with him before the commission and the doctors and all those other people came in. I could hear, like, the silence was just insane, you know, going from how loud it was to the entire place. Like, it was insane. The silence is sadness, you know, and that sucks, you know, it sucks for him. It sucks for his family and his team. But, you know, I got stuff to do, and my family's got to eat, and I got a goal I got to accomplish. So I got to put that stuff behind me, but it doesn't mean that I'm not human.
Did you feel like his announcement took away from your victory?
No, not really. You know, if he was going to do it, and that's what he wanted to do, I don't think that he could have picked a better place than in front of his hometown and his country and you know, and essentially his arena. I don't know where else he would have done it, you know, and so I don't hold that against him. I think it definitely it took away from it a little bit, but there's nothing that I'm bitter about or that I'm upset about. You know, that's just how the game goes. It's kind of similar to how Anthony Johnson retired, you know, after his fight with Cormier. You know, I think that when it's time, it's time. And if that's how you feel, then just do it.
I noticed because I was watching everything after the fact, and so you go from like the in-cage interview to backstage to, you know, the ESPN Plus post-show to the press conference, and it seemed almost by the time you got to the press conference, you were like, wait a second, like losing to me shouldn't mean that you're done. Losing to me shouldn't be that you're like some sort of gatekeeper / you know, journeyman. And so it was interesting to see the way your mind was working throughout that you know, that car wash, so to speak. And by the end, at least to me, it felt like you're like, wait, hold up. Like this shouldn't be something that you're embarrassed about, that you feel the need to walk away from the sport. Is that kind of how you felt at the end? Like how the narrative was changing to like, Gustafsson can't hang with Anthony Smith. It's time to go.
Yeah. That's exactly how it happened. You know, at the beginning, I was kind of sad for him because I feel like he still got a lot to give. And I still think that he still has a lot of fight left in him. I don't feel like he lost a step at all. And then so as I was doing the interviews, you know, I was kind of saying that and hoping that he sticks around and rethinks it. And then, like you said, by the end of it, it was like, wait a second, like, are you guys saying he's retiring because I suck so bad that he can't beat me? Because that's how it feels. And I just don't think that that's the case. And I don't know when I'm going to get any respect, you know, at this point. Like, before I never cared, but it's getting a little bit frustrating, you know, like all the guys that I'm beating are old washed up guys. And then the Vulcan thing was a fluke. And then, you know, then I proved everyone right that, you know, I sucked and I didn't beat John Jones. And then, you know, what's the excuse now? You know, I mean, Gus, his mind wasn't in it. His heart wasn't in it. He didn't try hard enough. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what I got to do to beat someone and then finally just say, maybe he's just good.
So even after this one, you still feel like you're not getting that respect as one of the best light heavyweights in the world?
I don't know. You know, I haven't really been paying attention too much to the, like, I guess you can kind of get the read on that stuff, like from social media and how the media members talk about you and how the articles are written. And I haven't really dug that deep into there. I'm just happy to be home. So, you know, I don't know, but you know, the way that I felt after the fight, that's kind of the vibe I was getting.
Is the John Jones fight finally out of your system? Like that embarrassment, that feeling you were talking about last Tuesday on the program, do you feel like it's finally gone now?
No, not completely. I think that I got some of it out for sure. I feel a lot better. You know, I slept okay last night, so that's good. I think that that's always going to be there a little bit, but I think that I proved something to myself. You know, I said that on your show that I wanted to put in a performance that I could be proud of, and I'm really proud of that one. And I think that you know how Alex said that the John fight was because of the injury and all that stuff. You know, I don't know if that's 100% true, but you're never going to know until you get back in there, you know? So I was saying that I don't know what happened. I couldn't pull the trigger and I'm better than that. But, you know, to be able to go in there and then have a better performance and kind of prove to myself, like, all right, like what you're saying is correct. Like what you feel is right, that you are better than that and you just didn't show it. So I do feel better. But there's, you know, there's a lot of things I didn't do and that I got to get better at. But I don't think I'll ever be happy. I think that until I win the world title, I think I'm always going to kind of feel like that.
How do you think you would have felt if it didn't go your way? considering how you felt going into the fight because of John, like if you had now lost 2 in a row, how do you think you would have reacted to that?
Well, I think it would have depended on the performance.
Okay.
You know, I wasn't, like I said, I wasn't focused on the win. So had the fight gone the way that it went, and I didn't finish him in the 4th, and the 5th round looked similar to the 1st and the 2nd. I mean, in my mind, I think I was up 2-1 going into the 4th. But you never know what the Swedish judges, in his hometown how they're gonna do it. And if I would have lost the decision, I'm pretty happy with the performance. There's obviously lots of things that I did wrong and I could have done better, but I was pulling the trigger. I was pushing the pace. I was in his face the whole time. I was doing what I could do, and I'm happy with that.
Did you talk to Alex at all after the fight?
I tried. I don't want to be the guy that's that beats someone and gets in their face and wants to talk to them and be buddy. Like, I understand that although we don't have any issues, I'm probably the last person he wants to talk to. So immediately after the fight, I rolled him over and I just said really quickly that you're one of the best light heavyweights on the goddamn planet. Keep your head up and don't ever forget that. Yeah. And then, I just went off and did my thing. And then in the back in the medical tent, I went in and I gave him a hug and I just gave respect to his team. I wasn't able to talk to his coaches in the octagon, and I didn't want them to think that I was just blowing them off. And I just asked him, I just told him I wish he would rethink the retirement thing, and that he's got a lot more to give. And I just left him be after that.
So now, since that loss to Thiago Santos, you're 4-1 with wins over some of the greatest of all time. It's truly an amazing story, and how active you've been, truly amazing in its own right. 5 fights in a very short amount of time, and 32-14. I saw that they were joking with you afterwards that you kind of did your career backwards a little bit, where now after all these fights, it's all starting to come together. Did you honestly, like, this has to at this point exceed your wildest dreams, right? Like, you're going into enemy territory, 18,000 people, and shutting everyone up and submitting one of the greatest light heavyweights. This is incredible stuff. How do you wrap your head around all of this?
I don't think I do. I think that's part of the problem. I just take it one at a time, and this one is definitely one that I'm really, really proud of, just because everybody knows how good Gus is, and he's in his prime, and he's still as good as he's ever been. So that one means a lot to me, because I've always looked at him as a legend of the 205-pound division, and he's kind of the measuring stick to everything else. So, getting a win over him really solidifies to myself that, like, someday they're going to talk about me as one of the legends of the 205-pound division. And although legacy is not the most important thing to me, it means something. So it's just been a wild ride, all those nights of just laying in bed, stressing and not knowing what was going to happen. And, if I was going to make it, and if I was, how long was it going to take, and what else I had to sacrifice, and how much more did my family have to struggle for my dream. It just now it's nice to lay down in bed and just be comfortable a little bit. Like I'm happy with where I'm at in life. Especially this morning, and I don't know. I'm just really proud. I've kept every promise that I've ever made to my family, and that really means a lot to me. That, like, when I told Michaela that, just hold on, like I'll make it work. I'm really proud of the fact that, she always stuck by my side, and my family always supported me, and my friends always believed in me. When most people wouldn't. If you look back and you rewind my career a little bit and think of the things that I was saying then, they sound goddamn crazy. And then you fast forward to where we are, like, how many people would have stuck around for that, or how many people would have believed? I'm just really grateful and feeling really, really good right now, but I don't want to feel too good and enjoy it too much, because, like, we still got a ways to go, like there's likely another fight that I'll probably have to fight to get back to John. So, I gotta get healed up and mentally reset and spend some time with my family. But after that, we have to get back to work.
And I love the fact that Luke Rockhold's name didn't really come up on Saturday. There's another time for that. But safe to say, when you do heal up, when you come back maybe early next year, that's the guy that you want first?
I mean, depends on if he wins.
Yeah.
You know, I'm kind of in a good spot right now. I'm kind of at the top of the division with no one else but John Jones in front of me. So as much as I would love to beat him up, I'm not going to sacrifice taking steps backwards to fight a guy coming off a loss. I'll tell you that. So as much trash as he talked, it's his turn to show up. And I think that Jan is in a winnable fight. You know, I don't think that's an easy fight. So, you know, I'll just leave that to let him shake it out and see if he's going to earn himself an opportunity.
That's right. Anthony Smith is in the driver's seat. For once, you call the shots. It's about damn time. It's about damn time,
Ariel.
Yes. Well done, my man. I know you have a doctor's appointment to get to, so we'll let you go. Thanks so much for doing this, Anthony. You're not going to hear from me for at least 6 months, okay? Watch me break that promise in like 2 months when you're booked for another fight. But for now, I'm going to leave you alone. Enjoy your time off. And by the way, congrats on the upcoming wedding. I didn't realize that you actually weren't married yet. So it's amazing. Everything is backwards, and I love it. It's a beautiful thing. So congrats. Enjoy the time off.
Thanks a lot, Ariel. Yeah, don't call me. You
Okay.
can text, though.
Okay, fair. Deal. Good luck with the hand. Keep us posted.
All right, take care, my friend.
All right, there he is, Anthony Smith. What a wonderful story. And Saturday was so wonderful for the underdog, right? Anthony Smith doing what he did in Stockholm, Andy Ruiz doing what he did in Madison Square Garden. I mean, it was just it was a feel-good kind of night. Feel-good kind of day because the Stockholm card was in the afternoon, but it was amazing. So that's what happened on Saturday afternoon. Smith submitting Gustafsson, and then, as I said, Saturday night in the world of boxing, but everyone talking about it, Andy Ruiz stopping Anthony Joshua. Holy smokes, what a huge upset. He was an 11-1 underdog. It was incredible to watch, and now, of course, everyone talking about the rematch and whatnot. One man who was in attendance, and this is so exciting, I've never had the opportunity to talk to one of the greatest boxers of all time. Let us talk to the man they call Triple G, Gennady Golovkin. Wow, this is amazing. Gennady, how are you, my friend? Thank you for coming.
I'm good. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Wow, this is so great. It's such an honor to talk to you and to have you on the program. You were there in attendance on Saturday, and I'm sure you've been asked a bunch of times, but I'm dying to know, what was going through your mind when you saw Andy Ruiz do what he did to Anthony Joshua?
You know, it's not big news for me. You know, it's not surprise. I'm not shocking because, you know, this is boxing. I know Andy a long time, and, you know, everybody has a chance.
What did, in your expert mind, what did Joshua do incorrectly in that fight?
Oh, everything.
Everything.
Come on, guys, everything. Everything. Just, you know, just my first, like, welcome to America. Welcome to the United States.
Yeah, did you feel like maybe he was underestimating Andy?
Probably yes, you know, he feel, no, I don't know, just, he looked like, you know, a superstar, he's coming to the United States. No, come on, no. This is very serious business, this is, you know, this is boxing. You can't disrespect your opponent. You know, Andy, he is a good fighter, and come on, this is a dangerous fight.
Do you feel like you're sitting there watching this fight, and on Saturday you're fighting at Madison Square Garden against a relatively unknown fighter to the casual fan, Steve Rolls, who's undefeated in his own right? So when you're watching that, is there almost like a lesson for you? Don't underestimate this guy on Saturday that I'm fighting, because the same thing can happen to me?
You know, I feel a little different. You know, just I understand 100%. This is my serious business. You know, I remember like my position, like a risk right now. You know, just nobody beat me. Nobody. You know, just I have a good record. Like I'm hungry. Like probably this is my biggest chance, and I understand how I feel. You know, just risk.
Right. How much you know about? Or let me ask it this way: when you first found out about Steve Rolls, how much did you know about him?
A couple, maybe like 5%.
5%.
I know just name, yeah. I know just name, and I know just his record. And for me, more important, just he's professional athlete, professional fighter. That's it.
Right. Why are you taking this fight? Why against him?
No, this is not just my point. It's the zone. He's from Canada. You know, the zone going to Canada right now, like like NBA final, Toronto versus
Golden State.
Golden State. Yeah, like just it's a surprise.
Right. So you got this opportunity against this guy. It's a chance for you to get back on track. Perhaps this is the first time that you're going into a fight coming off of a loss. Do you feel like it's different? Like do you feel a little more pressure because you're trying to get back in the win column?
No, I feel very comfortable. I feel very comfortable because I know just since my first deal with the Zone, my first fight with, and all roles, I don't feel pressure, and I feel very comfortable.
You did make a big change in your camp. You parted ways with Abel Sanchez, who's been by your side for a very long time, your longtime trainer. Why did you do that?
Just how long, maybe like 3-4 weeks ago, he said it's finished, he doesn't work with me. I bring Jonathan Banks. This guy, he helped me.
Yeah, but why did you say goodbye to Abel?
Oh, different view for future.
Okay. And why Jonathan Banks?
He's wanna work with me, and I like his experience. He's from Detroit. He looked nice. He had good experience with Vladimir Klitschko. He had good experience with Emmanuel Stewart. I need this experience.
When the news came out, Abel said some pretty harsh things. Did what he say hurt your feelings? Were you surprised by some of the things that he said?
Not a lot, because I know him long time. Just this is his side. My side, I tell him just thank you very much, coach. I go into public, just thank you for everything.
Had you won that fight against Canelo, your last fight, do you think you would have stayed with Abel?
Nobody knows, because I want to change. I want to learn again and again and again. I want more. Abel said, he win like both fights, like he doesn't need change. And he learn more.
If you win this fight on Saturday, have you been guaranteed a shot at Canelo Alvarez?
I think so.
You think so?
Right now, yeah, I think so. Right now my focus is just rolls. If I beat him, 99%.
Okay. Is it safe to say that that's what you want?
Everybody want. Not like a real, I don't want, just everybody talking. If everybody want, of course. It's a good deal to business, to money, to everything.
Would you want that fight to be outside of Nevada?
For me, I like New York. I like, because in New York, like Madison Square Garden, this mecca of boxing. Everybody want to fight in New York. Different people, different atmosphere, like true people, who love it, boxing, good quality fight. Not just gamble, not just show.
Right. You like New York clearly, but you actually you recently moved. You live full time in Los Angeles, correct?
Right, correct. Yeah.
What is that like, coming from Kazakhstan now to the city of angels, Hollywood? How do you like it?
I like it. It's completely different, different level, different everything.
Why did you do that? Why did you move your family there?
It's better for my family. It's better for my career, for my boxing stuff, for my everything.
Sometimes, when you come from a country in Europe, Eastern Europe, you come from anywhere outside of the United States, and then you move to America, the fans who have been following you from your home country feel like, oh, why did you leave us? How come you're living in America now? Did you get any of that blowback from your fans back home?
Just like true fans, true people, like smart people, everybody support me. Like, I am from Kazakhstan, just my flag, everything from Kazakhstan, Just people understand, because I don't have chance for this level. If I'm not coming to United States, I'm not state champions. This is my, in the United States, this first quality fight, first quality performs. Everything.
I feel that, like, has the government in Kazakhstan, have they given you the credit and the respect that you deserve? Because, not that long ago, people kind of laughed at Kazakhstan because of the movie Borat, but you, I think, changed the whole narrative surrounding that country and made people, I feel like, proud to be from there, as opposed to it being some sort of a joke. Do they give you the respect that you deserve over there?
Of course, 100%. Of course, yeah. yeah, thank you my people, thank you my fans. Everybody understands. Like right now, like new vision to Kazakhstan, not just bored or something.
Right. You realize that you did that, right? You changed everything about that country, in my opinion.
I hope so.
Yeah. In our sport, in mixed martial art, are you an MMA fan? Do you watch MMA?
Yeah, I watch MMA. Yeah, I like MMA.
Who's your favorite fighter?
Oh, everybody's different.
Okay.
Everybody's different.
There's not a guy or two that you say, wow, I want to go out of my way to watch him?
I like a lot, just heavyweight, like middleweight division, like a Conor and Habib, these guys, like so many people. Oh.
So in our sport, we've compared Khabib to you a little bit. You're from sort of the same part of the world. You kind of talk a little bit the same way. The trash talk is a little bit the same. And I understand you met him around a year and a half or so ago. Where was this, and what was that meeting like?
This last time in Moscow, in boxing event. Probably, yeah. This Murad Gassiev and Alexander Usyk fight.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I met with him, yeah.
What did you guys talk about?
Just good to see you, like, nice to meet you. Just first time I met with him.
Oh, okay, that was the first time. He seems to think that, there was some talk that he was going to fight Floyd. He seems to think that he could be a pro boxer. Do you think that he could be, based on what you've seen from him?
Impossible. Impossible. Just if you go into boxing with Floyd, just no chance. If Floyd going to MMA, fight with him, no chance.
Right. So, like, maybe these MMA fighters should stop talking about boxing, right?
Of course, yeah.
Conor had a good, first 4 rounds against Floyd. Were you impressed with that?
Yeah, Conor looks good. Yeah. Very interesting. And Conor, he is like a phenomenon. He's great athlete. Just respect him. Just if he going to play basketball or play football, he can. First couple minutes.
Right. Well, you say his cardio isn't that great? Is that what you're implying?
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah. Would you suggest that he sticks with boxing though, because he continues to talk about it? No, just he looks great in MMA. Okay, fair enough. Would you ever consider going to MMA?
I'm too old. Just I tried a couple of times. With my friends in Kazakhstan. Like it's different sport.
Right. What have you tried? Like wrestling, jiu-jitsu?
Yeah, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, like a little bit. Like Muay Thai, just
wow,
a little bit different.
What did you think of it?
Tough. Boxing more easy.
Yes. I'm glad you said that. And for you, how many more years do you think you have left in you? How many more years do you want to actually fight for?
Right now, I have 6 fights with the zone. Probably minimum 3 years.
Minimum 3 years. Okay. You want to fight all 6 fights though, right?
Right. Exactly.
Do you think this will be your last contract, or maybe you'll sign another one afterwards?
I don't know. Nobody knows right now. Just I look like Manny Pacquiao or Floyd. Like 40 years old. Like looks great.
Right. One thing I've always wanted to ask you: big drama show. Who came up with that? Who came up with that line?
No, this is my point. Just because everybody asked me, just, gee, what do you want if you're going to fight? I said, okay, I like big drama show. I like destroy my opponent. Just this is my point.
You just thought of it on the spot.
Yeah, just like that.
Wow. Have you trademarked that line, big drama show?
No.
What? You got to trademark that. Very important.
Come on, everybody knows this is my.
I know, but you don't want some other schmo to steal it. Like, what if Billy Joe Saunders steals that line? That's not good.
It's a smart idea.
Yeah, he's gonna do it. Do you guys have beef, you and Billy Joe?
Maybe. Why not? Just right now, my first step. Of course, my focus on Steve Ross. If Billy Joe stay activity, still champion, why not?
Okay. What's the official prediction for Saturday?
I promise bring great show, good quality fight. If you're a real boxing fan or you wanna watch true, like a war, like true fight, please watch.
Yeah.
Please welcome to Madison Square Garden.
Do you have something to prove on Saturday, considering what happened in your last fight?
I think no. Just I feel great, just my first step, and it is my new start, like a restart. Probably, if I beat Rolls, we see September.
Okay. And that would be against Canelo Alvarez. Last thing for you. Later on in the show, we have Nate Diaz on. Are you a fan of Nate Diaz?
Yeah, I like him. Yeah.
He's a good boxer, right?
He's a good boxer. He is warrior. He's man.
Mexican style.
Not just Mexican style. He's like a street fighter. He's man. I like.
All right. Triple G, this has been an honor. Thank you so much for doing it. I really appreciate it, and good luck to you on Saturday against Steve Rolls.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you.
All right, there he is, Kazakhstan's own Triple G, Gennady Golovkin. How cool is that? Legend fights this Saturday at Madison Square Garden. Of course, Saturday also UFC 238 in Chicago, a stat card. And by the way, I learned this from the great Andrew Davis of our Sports and Information Group, Stats and Information Group. How about this? How about this little nugget? To put some perspective on how good the UFC 238 card is this weekend, there are 21 champions slash ranked contenders on this card out of the 26 fighters. 21 out of the 26 fighters on the card are either champions or ranked fighters. All right? Every fight on the main card and the ESPN prelims has either a champion and a ranked fighter or two ranked fighters. Put that in perspective, UFC 235, the last pay-per-view back in April in Atlanta, had the previous most in 2019, and that was 15 fighters like that. So you see the depth right there, right? 238, pretty good. This Saturday, United Center. Before we get to our next guest who will be competing at UFC 238, as you look at the lineup for Saturday, let me tell you about our good friends over at Ancestry DNA. Ever wonder where your family comes from? You can discover more about them and learn about your story by combining the Ancestry DNA tests with billions of historical family records. Ancestry DNA gives you so much more than just the places you're from. Ancestry connects you to the places in the world where your story started using precise geographic detail and clear-cut historical insights. You can even trace your ancestors' journeys over time, following how and why your family moved from place to place. And to amplify your results, you can start a free trial right now on Ancestry and build a tree so your ancestors become more than just a name. They've combined DNA results with over 100 million family trees and billions of records to give you more insight into your genealogy and origins. Only Ancestry can tell such a rich story with unique features that give you a more complete picture about a person, like events that shaped them, how they made a living, and what they excelled in. How about that? Ancestry's unique features and record collections can give you a more complete picture of the people from your past. And I read this again. Why do they do this? Second time they do this. Same paragraph twice. Now I feel like that guy from the movie, Anchorman. I just read that line. Literally just read it. It's so easy to get started. Right now, get a free trial, start building a tree. You can enhance the DNA experience and help you learn more about the quote-unquote complete story. Okay, so go to Ancestry.com/MMA today. That's Ancestry.com/MMA right now for 20% off your Ancestry DNA kit. That's Ancestry.com/MMA for 20% off your Ancestry DNA kit. Ancestry.com/MMA. Support them because they support us. How about that? We actually finished the whole thing right as the song was ending. That's amazing. I did the whole Ancestry thing. I spit in a little tube and then I sent it off. I'm awaiting my results. I'm very nervous about all of this. So I'll let you know how that all goes. Someone that I am not nervous about is our next guest. They call him Bam Bam, Tai Tuivasa. He is back in Chicago, a place that has treated him very well. Back in the Windy City, back at the United Center. This Saturday, he returns, representing the West Side. Put it up there. We didn't see it. West Side. Let's see it. There it is. There it is. West Side. Hey, it's good. We got West Side Australia and West Side of California. Nate Diaz coming up later. You guys are linked. Who's that guy? Who's that bloke?
Oh, it's my coach. He just thinks he can walk around with a towel on.
I'm happy that there was a towel on. That's good.
Yeah.
Tai, it's good to see you, my friend. And by the way, could I just ask? I mean, you look phenomenal. Just from Instagram alone, are you a lot slimmer than you usually are?
Nah, that's just the edit, bro. That's just the edit.
Man.
Nah, I am. I've been working hard.
I mean, look at you over there. Look at the sweat.
No,
Just,
that's old.
oh, old? Corporate Jake. Is this old too?
No.
Look at
It
you.
looks good. That photo looks good.
Look at you. How much you weigh?
I'm about 120 already. 122.
Oh, kilograms? That means nothing to us.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Yeah, I don't know pounds. I think it's like 268.
260. Okay, so you only have 3 pounds to go.
Yeah, I'm sweet. I've been eating now. I've had a really good camp. This is best I've felt.
So usually on the Monday before a fight, how much do you weigh?
Ooh, probably 125.
Okay.
Maybe.
Still don't know what that means.
Yeah,
But I'll take your word for it.
yeah. I got no idea what pounds either.
But needless to say, a lot bigger than this.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I've been eating this camp. Usually fight camps I don't eat. It's pretty much just fat camp. But I've been good this one, so it's good.
And so what's the difference this time around? Do you have a nutritionist you're working with? Like, why are things looking so good?
I changed my piss up. I did alcohol with soda water. It works.
What? What are you talking about?
Vodka and soda water instead of Sprite.
Oh,
it works.
That's it? That's the only change?
Yeah, it works, man. It works.
I don't believe you.
I couldn't believe it.
You're drinking vodka during your training camp? Well done.
Nah, not during camp.
Oh, before camp.
Before camp.
Okay.
How you been?
I've been good. Thanks for asking, Ty. You know, it's funny. Not a lot of people ask me that on the show. I appreciate you doing so.
They don't ask you how you been?
Not really. You really seem to care.
I care a lot about you.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. And I care about you as well. And this is a big fight because you're coming off your first pro loss. And I read, correct me if I'm wrong, is it true that you have been watching the fight against JDS every single night before you go to bed? Is that accurate?
Yeah. I always do. It makes me go to bed.
Why do you do that to yourself? Why do you do that to yourself?
I think that's how I learn things. I'm a bit of a realist. Like if I got beat, so I just watch it and like fuck, I can't lose again.
I've read like reports that you shouldn't look at your phone. You shouldn't like read the comments on Instagram and Twitter.
Oh no, I'm into it. Yeah, I'm all into that.
Why?
I love it.
Why do you engage with the trolls?
Cause I love it. They make me. Fuck, it's boring if I don't.
Gosh, I'm too sensitive.
I
get really sad. Anymore. You don't get down when they say mean things about you?
Nah, they don't know shit about me. I really don't care. I just think it's funny.
But shouldn't you be going to bed like with positive thoughts, not watching your first pro loss? Like, shouldn't you like think about something nicer than that? I
think it was a positive for me. I've learned heaps. I've taken a lot away from it, so it doesn't faze me. You know, I one day want to get him back, so I just watch it and think about next time I'm going to get him back.
So you say you've learned heaps. What did you learn?
Maybe shouldn't rush things when I'm in there. I think if I took my time a little bit, I probably would have come away with the win. But I see red and I kind of went for it, so I fucked up.
This was a big deal for you. Main event. You were back home. You were coming off a big win over a legend. Like, did you feel like the moment got to you a little bit?
Nah. I was ready. I was prepared. I think I did all right. I think I just rushed it. Maybe if I kicked him once more or maybe took my time a little bit, I probably could have pulled him apart. But yeah, I just went freshy styles and Western Sydney, went head down forward, went into it.
Is this the perfect thing for you to be back in Chicago, a place you had a great fight there last year, like to sort of, you're familiar with it, you have good memories. When you got the call to fight in Chicago, did you get excited about it?
Yeah, I'm pumped to be back. I've got a lot of love from Chicago, a lot of messages. So good to be back and perform in front of them. But it's good to be in America as well. Shit flight, but good to put a show on for the fans over here.
Yeah, I'm assuming they fly you business, right?
Oh, fuck!
Come on.
I was cleaning the toilet at the back there.
Come on. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Tai Tuivasa, Bam in the back?
I was opening the door for the people who wanted to go to the toilet.
Stop it. I don't believe you for a
I
second.
was. I swear to God, I was at the back.
Where are you flying from? You're flying from Brisbane?
Sydney.
Sydney to where?
So I went Gold Coast to Sydney, and then from Sydney to LA, and then from LA to Chicago.
Jeez.
24 hours of just straight fuck around.
And when did you get there?
We got here yesterday, about 4 o'clock.
Is that enough time to acclimate to the new time zones and all that?
It's all good. Fight's a fight.
Yeah.
I'll be sweet.
How are you feeling now? Because like now it's the middle of the night for you back home.
Yeah, a bit tired. I think a couple of days I should be sweet, but
Okay. And what about Blagoy? You like this fight?
yeah, I think I'm excited for this fight. He's a tough guy. I don't have really much bad to say about him. I think it'll be a good fight.
No trash talk this time between you two. No bad blood. No love lost.
Nah. I don't usually trash talk everyone. If someone has a crack at me, I'm not gonna sit around.
And that's the perfect opening to ask you about Justin Willis.
Bitch tip.
Justin. Okay, first of all,
Did he get sacked or did he not? I don't know what.
Yes, he did get sacked. I don't know why he's saying he didn't, but
why is he in denial and he's saying that he didn't?
I have no idea. I mean, look, it's a traumatic thing. I would be in denial as well.
You reckon?
I don't know. It's a little
Be
weird.
honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, first of all, where did this problem start between you two?
It started between just him and Mark, really. Like he was just when he was at the weigh-ins and stuff, he's growling like a dog that he is, and just doing stupid shit, and he's just real rude and just arrogant. I don't know. I just don't like it.
And so after the JDS fight, right away, usually when someone loses a fight, you don't hear them call someone out. You said you wanted Justin Willis.
Yeah, I know. I watched that after. I did lose, but yeah, fuck, it is what it is. He knows I want him.
Okay, so before all this happened, why didn't they book you against Justin Willis?
They probably knew he was. I lost, so I understand it. Like I'm a loser, so I should go back and fight whoever. But yeah, I think he was going to get found out anyway. He's a bum, so he got sacked.
Well, he ended up losing to Curtis Blades in March.
Yeah, I saw that. That looked like a rape case.
Oh.
Blade should have went to jail for that.
Okay, so when you saw, see, the thing is that what's funny is like I follow you on Instagram. You don't hold back on this guy. You got like even like in the comments and everything. You go to his, he goes to yours. I mean, it's like a war zone out there between you two.
Yeah, I told you it gets boring out here, man. a little Instagram heat. It's pretty fun.
So were you sad
but
when you? Yes.
If I see him, he knows what's up.
What would happen?
We'll see.
Oh. You know what would happen. You just don't want to tell us.
I don't talk too much. When I see him, I'll see him.
Okay. So were you sad when you found out that he was let go?
I was pretty bummed. I want to fight him, but I don't blame the UFC. He's a bum. He's shit.
Right. So you don't feel bad for him, even though this is the fight that you wanted.
Well, I think if he's not going to accept fights, what are you here to do? Look good.
Right.
You're not pretty, so I don't know. If you fight, I think you're meant to fight. So I don't know. I'm not hiring him either. So I don't know. If they sacked him, that's up to them. Fuck, I got no idea.
Well, you say he's not pretty. He actually calls himself Big Pretty. I think you know this, right?
Yeah, but I gave him the name Big Titty, and that's staying with him. So imagine that being hired by the UFC, and the thing you get out of it is everyone in the world calls you Big Titty. Oh my gosh.
By the way, how is Mark doing?
Mark's good.
Yeah?
Mark. Yeah, Mark's good. I was with him the other day. He's good.
Did he help you prepare for this fight?
Trying to keep. He's been a bit injured.
Oh.
He's got a bit of a calf injury and stuff, so he's just been taking it easy. He's getting himself back to normal.
Will he fight again?
I think so. I think he's got something planned. I'm not too sure what it is, but
Okay. It seems like you do know because you were smiling when you said that.
don't know.
Okay.
I don't know nothing.
When you fought in Chicago last time, you gave us a little. I think that was the Celine Dion song, right? That was the Titanic song.
Yeah, it was.
Which was incredible. One of my finalists, by the way, for Walkout of the Year. What about this time around? What do you got in store for us?
Yeah, I got another banger.
Oh,
Are you coming? Are you coming?
I will be there. Yes, of course.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll dedicate this song to you then.
Oh, really?
Yeah, this is for Ariel.
Oh.
My walkout's for you.
Is it the Little Mermaid?
It's not the Little Mermaid.
Oh man, but you got something special.
Yeah, I got something special. I always got something special for my walkouts.
You won't give us a hint.
No.
Okay, fair enough. But when I hear this song on Saturday, I can assume that this is for me. You are doing this for me. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
damn.
probably will come up to the locker room after and try and give me a kiss. But...
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, they don't let me in the locker room area. I don't know if you know this, but in spirit.
They don't?
Well, it's not exactly red carpet treatment, if you get what I'm saying.
You're not really like the most liked person, eh? I don't know why. I don't know why everyone doesn't like you.
I know.
I like you.
You see, I'm very likable, right?
I think.
I don't know. It's weird. If you could put in a good word, I'd appreciate it.
Everybody like Ariel.
Yes.
Now.
Well, not to these people. These are my fans. to the people behind the
these
scenes.
are your fans.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay. I'll get at him for you.
Okay. Oh, is it Shania Twain?
It's not.
Ah.
But that's my girl. That's my girl, Shania. That's my girl, Shania.
She's the best. She is the best.
She's coming up.
Okay, so we're gonna see.
I'll give you a hint.
Please.
I steal from the rich and I give to the poor.
Steal from the rich and give to the poor. Gosh. Maybe Vacation Brittany in the back over there knows this. This is a little too. Is this for the kids? This is a new song.
No, it's not new. None of my stuff's new.
Okay.
It's all bangers.
I'll think about it. If anyone out there knows what Tai is talking about, please do let me know. But we will see I don't know what that is. Is that Cardi B? Who is that? Nicki Minaj?
Cardi B? Nah, I listen to her old music.
Okay.
Like your age.
Okay, yeah. How old are you?
You're like, how? Me?
Yeah.
I'm 26.
Oh my gosh.
You're
my age. What are you talking about my age? I'm 11 years older than you.
Are you?
Yeah.
Yeah, at least 50.
No, I'm 30. 11 years would be 37, turning 37. I'm being told it's Robin Hood, but of course that's a line from Robin Hood, but is that a song? Oh, wait, I got it. Okay. I got it. Wait a second. Is this another hint? By the way, I hear you're on the bandwagon, the Raptors bandwagon. True or false?
I don't even know who the Raptors are. What's that?
What? You jumped off the bandwagon after they lost game 2? Your manager, Zen, told me that you're all about the Raptors. Drake, Raptors, basketball, NBA Finals.
I don't even know who the fuck Raptors are.
He told me that. Bollocks.
Oh, my God.
True bollocks.
Go to Raptors.
Yes. All right. So are we going to see a new Bam Bam on Saturday? Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah. A lot fitter. A lot more prepared.
Quicker?
I haven't fought for 6 months, so I'm pretty eager to get back in there.
I know.
And punch some lips.
Yeah. It's been a long layoff for you. You miss it.
Yeah, I have.
Well, I missed you.
I miss you too, Ariel.
Yeah. What are you going to do the next few days in Chicago?
I'm going to go get some pizza.
Oh.
Shit like that.
Deep dish?
I heard there's some good food here. Yeah. Deep.
Did you have deep dish last time?
Nah.
Oh, why not?
I didn't. I stayed out in the ghetto last time. We're in the city now, so it's all right.
Look at you. Started from the bottom, now you're here.
Something like that.
You could go to a Chicago Cubs game. That's fun.
When is that?
Well, I don't know. You got to look at the schedule. What do you think? I know their schedule off by heart? baseball
I don't
team?
know.
Random.
Yeah, is it a baseball team?
Yeah, it's very cool. One of the oldest stadiums in
I thought
America.
it was an NBA team.
No, gosh. There's a great Australian playing in the finals, Andrew Bogut. You know Andrew Bogut.
Yeah, I know Andrew Bogut. He's
Legend.
Aussie.
Legend.
Oh,
Yeah, he's in the finals right now. He had a big game last night.
shit. Good job.
Yeah.
Shout out to Andrew.
You ever meet him?
Shane. Nah.
No. I heard you did an amazing thing for kids recently. You have this like foundation where you bring kids together to play rugby.
Yeah, OzTag.
What is that?
OzTag. Yeah. I just started off it's mainly my team. They helped me a lot. They just started off with kids playing on the street tag, and then now we just turned it into helping kids get into it that are a bit less fortunate.
Okay. Wow. And this is the first time you've done it?
It's been going for a little bit now.
Okay. Well done. I like it. Much respect.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Well, Bam Bam, this has been fun. It's been nice to catch up with you.
Always is. Thanks for having me, Ariel.
Oh, can I ask you one last thing?
Yo.
What about that Andy Ruiz? I'm sure you can appreciate that, right?
Andy Ruiz, that's my fat boy, bro. See, I knew it's fat boy season. I knew he was gonna win.
You did?
Yeah, I've been rooting for him hard. See how I said rooting?
Yeah. I don't get it.
It sounds weird.
What's the joke?
We don't say rooting.
Oh,
we don't say that.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's the power of the belly.
Yeah, it is.
That's got to give you inspiration, right? You don't judge a book by its cover.
Never.
Incredible what he did. Really amazing. Well, I hope the same for you on Saturday. Best of luck in this fight. I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
There he is. One of the greats. Bam Bam. Tai Tuivasa. There he is. West Side, till I die. One of 6 fighters to win his UFC debut via flying knee. Plus 40 significant strike differential in 4 UFC fights. 130 to 90. And, of course, this is just his second trip to the US of A. UFC 225, UFC 238. 225, of course, was last June in Chi-Town. Let me put my my flags back. So, we have approached 2 o'clock, my friends. Coming up in around 10 minutes. Why is he so tardy? He's supposed to be on time, Urijah. All of a sudden, the guy comes back. I mean, really? And he thinks he could be tardy? Come on. But this does give me an opportunity to tell you, speaking of Chicago, about our live show. How about that? So, this is the situation, my friends. I'm very excited about this. So anyhow, we're going to be joined by Urijah Faber and then Nate Diaz coming up in around 30 minutes. Yes, I said Nate freaking Diaz on the program. First time in 2 years. But first, let me tell you about the live show on Friday. So it's June 7th, as you know, Lincoln Hall in Chicago, all right? And as you also probably know, tickets sold out. There are no more tickets. So I'm sorry. I told you all, jump on them fast. They're all gone. If you are sad about this, consolation, the audio of the whole shebang will be uploaded to the feed that you usually get your Helwani show Mondays, Wednesdays. So don't worry, you can at least enjoy it after the fact. But if you want to enjoy it live and in living color, you're out of luck. Anyhow, okay, so this is the lineup. This is how it's going to go down. I wanted to do something special. I didn't want it to be like your run-of-the-mill event. I didn't want it to be just like, oh, here I am talking to all of you. No, I want this to be memorable. I want this to be exciting. And so I am very excited to announce to all of you that we will have the first ever Nose World Order Trivia Challenge. Yes, the NWO belt will be on the line Friday, June 7th, Lincoln Hall, Chicago, Illinois. Now, what does this all mean? We are going to have 5 of the best fighters in the world coming together, answering trivia, MMA trivia, via yours truly. And this is how it's going to go down. This is amazing. What a concept this is. You know, I've talked about doing a trivia show for quite some time. When I worked for Fox, we did a one-off UFC Tonight trivia show. You remember that? I think Michael Bisping won the whole thing, if memory serves me correct. It was back in 2012. And I thought the show was a smashing hit. I thought it was a great success. For whatever reason, they didn't like it. So anyway, this is what's going to happen. What just happened to my thing here? Anyway, forget about that. Did something just happen to my internet? Is everything okay? All right, 5 of the best fighters in the world are going to come together. Their names are Stipe Miocic, UFC, former heavyweight champion who meets Daniel Cormier on August 17th in Anaheim, California. Paul Felder, Eddie Alvarez, Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, and Ben Askren. Those 5 fighters will be live at the event Friday. Again, Stipe Miocic, Eddie Alvarez, Paul Felder, Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, and Ben Askren. And so how is this going to work? This is going to be great. I'm so pumped for this. First round, 5 fighters. They're going to be answering questions. And I'm going to go down the line. And so let's say, for example, ask Ben Askren a question. Askren doesn't know the answer. The guy standing next to him, just the guy standing next to him, will be able to steal the answer, get an extra point, right? So if I'm Ben Askren, I don't know. If Stipe is standing next to him, he gets to steal the answer. Brilliant, right? So you can rack up points if your guy standing to your left or right is not that good at trivia. And so the first round, 5 fighters going toe-to-toe. At the end of round number 1, the fighter with the least amount of points out. Another wrinkle. You get 1 ask a friend each round. There are 3 rounds. 1 ask a friend. So if I'm Eddie Alvarez and I don't know the answer to, I don't know, who did Anderson Silva beat at UFC 190 outside of Chicago? I don't know the answer to that question, Patrick Cote. I don't know the answer to that question. I can ask 1 person in the audience. So the audience will be your friend on Friday. The audience will be able to help you out. We need audience participation. I think that'll be a lot of fun. So at the end, each fighter gets 1 of those. At the end of round 1, the fighter with the least amount of points is out. Now, we then look at the scores. There's obviously going to be someone with the most amount of points, 2nd, 3rd, 4th. 1 and 4, 2 and 3 will then get matched up. 1, 4, 2, and 3 matched up. All right? This is going to be great. They are going to be matched up newlywed style. They will then have to answer questions about each other. So if it's Stipe and Ben, Stipe will have to answer questions about Ben. Ben will have to answer questions about Stipe, right? So you got to know your opponent. You got to know your guy. You got to know your teammate in this particular case. Again, if you used an ask a friend in the first, you get 1 back in the second. It starts over. It's sort of like, I don't know, timeouts in the NBA. I think you get 1 in overtime even though you used all 3, or maybe you don't. But you get the point. You get it back. It all sort of resets. So it goes from 5 to 4. Then it goes down to 2. Top 2 guys move on to the finals. And then it's the speed round. Top 2 guys move on to the finals. 45 seconds on the clock. You get a whiteboard. 45 seconds on the clock, whiteboard. You have to answer a question. I'm not going to tell you the question now because then it ruins the whole damn thing. But you got to answer 1 question. 45 seconds on the clock, speed round. You got to answer it. All right? Once you're done, reveal your answers. Okay? Reveal your answers. And then 1 more ask a friend. 15 seconds on the clock. Pick anyone out there. And that person could add bonus points to you. So let's just say, I don't know, name the greatest, the middleweights with the most wins, whatever. You name them all, and then you go and you get 15 seconds and you say, you, Joe Schmo in the back, 15 seconds, name all the other ones that I didn't name. You see what I'm saying? This is incredible stuff. This is high drama. And then, of course, the person with the most wins, or points, I should say, is the first ever NWO champion, the Nose World Order. And I've heard from a lot of you who have said, are you coming to Edmonton? Are you coming to Anaheim? Are you coming to Las Vegas? Are you coming to this place or that place? Guess what? We're taking this global. We're taking this all over the place. First one, we wanted to start off slow. We wanted to dip our toe in the water, so to speak. We just wanted to sort of, trust me, this is going to be a thing. It's going to sweep the nation. Oh, sorry. Did I leave you hanging there? There she is, the richest prize in all of mixed martial arts, the NWO belt. Yes, the Nose World order belt. I'm going to get a custom one of these days, but the whole thing, is a first go around, so bear with me. But this is super exciting. I can't wait. It's the thing I'm most excited for this weekend. Again, it's Stipe Miocic, it's Ben Askren, it's Eddie Alvarez, it's Paul Felder, it's Wonderboy Thompson. I mean, 5 mentions, if we're being honest. 5 great personalities, 5 great guys, current UFC fighters, former UFC fighters. I mean, this is just going to be great. And that's this Friday, June 7th at Lincoln Hall in Chicago. I'm super excited. I hope you are as well. I think this sport is perfect for trivia, and no one's really done this sort of thing before, and I wanted to do something a little different. There'll be a lot of luminaries there. I hear New York Rick might be making an appearance of some kind, so it's going to be fun. And what's so fun about it is it coincides with the 10-year anniversary of this show and also the 1-year anniversary of my move to ESPN. So this is a great time to start it all. Last year when I went to Chicago for UFC 225, that was my last event at MMA Fighting. And now look at us. Like Aubrey once said, started from the bottom, now we here. Started from the bottom, now we here. Speaking of which, I just want to give a shout out to everyone in Toronto who was so kind when I was there. I got to cover Game 1 of the NBA Finals for Hoop Streams on Thursday. It was amazing. I was blown away by it all. I was blown away by the Canadian pride, the nationalism, the Raptors doing their thing, and for all the people, all the annoying people. And I see you losers, I see you trolls saying, "Oh, aren't you a Knicks fan?" First of all, do you not realize I could be a basketball fan? Like, I don't have to just follow things that the Knicks are doing, because if I did that, I would be living a very, very sad existence. I love the sport. So, like, to be at the NBA Finals, regardless of who's playing there, it doesn't have, just because the Knicks aren't there doesn't mean I don't go. "Oh, sorry, ESPN, I can't take this job. The Knicks aren't playing." Are you guys that dumb, or are you really just trolling me and I'm overreacting here? I mean, it's just amazing. The comments, stupid. But I know that's just stupid people online. I see the people in person, and they're tremendous. They couldn't have been happier. I was so pumped to be there. Everyone working on the shows couldn't be, more welcoming. It's been a great opportunity to be there. And there's Michael Wilbon, and there's Woj and Stephen A. Smith and Mike Breen and Jeff Van Gundy. I mean, it just feels like the eyes of the basketball world are on the arena that night. So I was really excited. I was really honored to be there, and I thought it was a lot of fun. In fact, at the end, they told us to be quiet because the Canadian national anthem was playing, and to be honest, I didn't really know what to do. I'm there standing. I'm with my new friend, Kendrick Perkins, the great Peter Rosenberg, the even greater Cassidy Hubbard. And I just said, I was having like this mental struggle, this internal monologue. And I was like, should I sing? Should I not sing? And guess what happened? This happened. God, keep our land glorious and free. Come on, Kendrick, I can't hear you. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard. Hold it, Kendrick, hold it. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Yes, look at that moment. That's one of the highlights of my life right there. Top 5 greatest moments of my life, getting to sing the national anthem on sort of television, digital stream, whatever you want to call it, with those people, my people. That was amazing. That was incredible. So anyway, thanks to all of you. It's an exciting time. I told you earlier, Alexander Gustafsson retired this past weekend. Nick Hine also retired. And how about King Mo Lawal, my guy, one of my favorites of all time. I suppose announced his retirement today as well via the American Top Team Instagram. They wrote this: I just wanted to give King Mo a shout out and congrats for all he's accomplished in this sport. For those that aren't aware, he's decided to, quote, hang him up and dedicate the next chapter of his life to coaching our pro fighters. I have to note, I've seen countless fighters train and walk through our doors, and King Mo is hands down one of the best teammates I have ever seen. Beyond selfless, proud to call him a teammate, and even more excited to have him working and coaching full-time with the squad. All the best, Mo. Congrats on a hell of a career. Let's keep it positive and show this man some love. It doesn't have a sign-off. I'm assuming that was Dan Lambert. Maybe not. Maybe one of the other owners, coaches. But congratulations to King Mo, one of the good guys in this sport. Always was kind to me. I'll never forget back in 2012 when he was fighting for Strikeforce. He said something to the effect of, you know, it's a big event when Ariel's there. And I kind of felt bad for everyone that was there because I wasn't there. But I thought it was really awesome that he did that. And I'll never forget the interview in the locker room in Nashville after he beat Gegard Mousasi to win the Strikeforce light heavyweight title. He was lying on the ground. He couldn't walk. He was very emotional. That was a great scene. And really one of the more brilliant minds in this game. I always thought that he could be an analyst, and to hear that he's going to be a coach is pretty amazing as well. So that is a huge coup for American Top Team that already has a great stable of coaches. All the best to King Mo. Hopefully we can talk to him about it in the coming weeks. All right, in a matter of moments, I do believe we're going to be joined by Urijah Faber. Speaking of someone retiring, he was retired. Now he's coming out of retirement. He's a dad now, just competed against Nicky Ryan, and it was announced, I do believe, early last week that he is fighting Ricky Simone in Sacramento, his hometown, July 13th. And so without further ado, let us say hello to the California kid, Urijah Faber, who all of a sudden is back and is like too big time. He's showing up late. His video isn't working. What's going on here, Urijah?
Well, I'm actually in training.
Okay.
I know it's hard for you to imagine, Ariel, but we have our pro practice. It ends at 11:05 to 11:15. So this was a scheduling disaster.
Oh.
But here we are. We made it.
I'm sorry. I thought that we were all good. I should have known when you didn't write me back yesterday, but I guess you don't text me back anymore. You're, a big UFC fighter now, so I guess things have changed for us.
Yeah, man. That might be the case. I actually have 264 or 646 unread text messages. So I apologize, but
why? What's going on there?
Nose to the grindstone.
Why was that? Was that a knock on my nose?
No, that wasn't. You
Okay.
got a great nose. That thing's famous. It's like my chin.
Yes, I appreciate that.
Iconic.
That is a great comparison. Why so many unread text messages? Doesn't that give you stress? Like, that would give me anxiety.
I don't know. I think it just accumulates over time. I'm not sure how long that is, but like if you got your day filled with action,
Yes.
and then you stop to go look at your phone and there's a bunch of text messages, you get to the first ones and you're in a meeting or whatever, the stuff can just pile up, and so you may not get back to them at the right time, especially now you throw a baby in the mix, which it takes my attention, etc. Yeah, I'm not sure, man. It's kind of nuts, actually. I need to maybe spend a day and go through those.
One thing that I'd love for Apple to do one of these days, how when you have an email, you can mark it as unread, so to remind yourself to get back to it. You can read it, but remind yourself. I feel like they should do that with text messages as well. Mark it as unread. I'll read it, but I'll get back to it later, but I just want to remind myself to respond, so I'll mark it. They don't do that, and it bothers me.
Well, I mean, that sounds just a lot more work, so.
Okay, fair enough.
I'd rather just find the time. But what's up, buddy? How you been?
This is the interview right here. We're done. No, I wanted to talk to you about this fight against Ricky Simone because I wrote earlier today for ESPN.com, I don't like this fight. I'm not a fan of this fight. I feel like the UFC is building Ricky Simone off of you, and when a legend comes back, especially in his hometown, you give him a fight to get his mojo back. You ease him back in there. Now, I know you're a very prideful guy, and I'm not saying that you can't win this fight. Obviously, it's a very winnable fight. You're one of the greatest ever. But why? With all due respect to Ricky Simone, he's not a household name. So why not give you another veteran, make it a big fight, maybe, main event, whatever the case is, and then you go on your way? Why are you fighting a guy who's like 15 years younger than you?
Well, like who?
Well, my pitch was like the Cub Swansons of the world.
Yeah, the UFC said no to that.
Why?
Then there was Kron Gracie, which, but this is a sport where, especially in the UFC, they're not trying to make a show out of it. They want to have good guys go against good guys. So, if you're nervous about it, Ariel, go back and watch my last fight, and even the fight before that, and maybe that'll put you to rest a little bit.
It's not so much that I'm nervous about it. I hope you don't take this the wrong way. I just feel like from a matchmaking perspective, I want to get you a fight against a name to say to the world, Urijah Faber is back. You know what I mean? How many people in Sacramento know who Ricky is? And that's not a knock on him necessarily. It's just that he's young. He's 26 years old. He hasn't had anywhere near the amount of fights that you've had. Like, does this fight get your juices flowing?
I'm in a scenario where the whole reason I'm fighting it is because my juices are flowing to fight. And so, it's like you're coming out like it's almost like I'm giving myself a birthday present. It's something that I love to do. Obviously, I haven't been out of the gym at all. When I stopped fighting, I was feeling amazing. Actually, just watched my last 2 fights last night, and it was fun to watch. Obviously, I'd like there to be some big, massive opponent out there, but look at the lay of the land. Ricky Simone's an exciting fighter. Matchup wise, it's going to be fireworks, absolutely. And Cub Swanson, he's on a little bit of a slide. Possibly that's why it wouldn't mean anything for the division at 145 or at 135 is kind of the sentiment that I got. I was okay with that fight. Staying up a weight. They also talked about the Kron Gracie. Obviously, he's got an awesome name and has some momentum, but he actually trains out with the Diaz brothers, which I think that might have a little bit of a factor there. But what are some other names besides those two?
I mean, those are a couple of names right there. I thought that one made a lot of sense.
But give me your because I'm doing the same thing you're doing and saying, okay, who is the big name? But there aren't really many big names right now in the 135 pound division, are there?
What about like a Rafael Sunsao?
Yeah, that would be a good one.
I mean, you have a history with him.
I mean, not a ton of people know his name either, though. Really,
well, he's headline shows, right?
Yeah.
He's a perennial contender.
Yeah, that could be a fight. Maybe that'll be the next one.
All right, fair enough. Listen, I don't want to rain on your parade. I was just looking out for a brother.
Thank you. That was very sweet of you. I feel safer with you in my back. Thank you.
No problem. No problem. How was it against Nicky Ryan, fighting someone that was like 20-something years younger than you, and going the distance with him? What was that experience like?
It was fun, man. I like Nicky Ryan and his family. I like the focus and the all-in attitude they have about jiu-jitsu. That's only my 4th time doing a jiu-jitsu competition in my whole life, and all the different rules. I think like an ADCC butt scooting, like he was butt scooting, would have gotten him disqualified. And then just kind of listen to the commentary and stuff, and I don't know. I'd like to see some different rules changes in Polaris to make sure that it opens up a little bit. But it was fun. It was got me one ankle lock attempt, and I got out of it. And other than that, I was just kind of pushing the pace, trying to wear him out and get an opening for a choke. But we rolled 5 months prior, and in that roll, he became aware of my chokes. I became aware of his back takes, and even if I were to stand up, he wouldn't even commit to grabbing onto the leg. He was shooting underneath and going for like leg attacks and lifts. So it was fun. My toes hurt because I was rubbing my toes on the canvas the whole time. Felt really good in the match as far as conditioning goes, and would like to do some more of those. Those are fun.
Ultimately, do you recall the moment where you said, all right, I'm back. This retirement is over?
Well, I've been talking about it for a while. I actually made a couple posts, like kind of alluding to it around New Year's.
Yeah.
I said, this year is going to be about mentoring, competing, and being a great dad. And that was actually before I had my baby and everything else. And I've been thinking about it. I mean, you think about it like periodically, but I think over the last probably year, I've been thinking about it more and more. And for me, that's the reason why I stopped in the first place, because I was thinking about retiring. Just had a lot going on. I'm kind of in a new place, and we talked about this on your show prior, where I feel amazing. I haven't slipped at all in my training. When I left the sport, I think my second to last fight, I was ranked number 2 in the world. After I lost to Rivera, that put me at number 6 or number 7, and I had that loss against or that win against One Punch Pickett. So it wasn't because I had to stop that I stopped. I just felt like it, and the same thing now where I've been thinking about it. I've been itching to fight. It sounds like a lot of fun, and I think it's time.
If this event, July 13th, wasn't in Sacramento, would you have come back a little later?
Yeah, I was already talking to the guys about coming back. I didn't even know they were coming to Sacramento.
Oh.
So that was just like, okay, maybe rush the process a little bit. But, yeah, I want to do some fights. Like I said, when I turned 40, I turned on my birthday. I actually said on your show that I was thinking about doing fights once I had that birthday.
Right. And do you feel like it's different now that you're a dad and you're clearly loving being a dad? Fatherhood seems to be treating you very well. Like, do you feel like your mental approach to the fight is different? That you're fighting for different things?
I wouldn't say that necessarily. Just a a little bit more of a purpose. I always have found a way to have a great purpose when I'm fighting. The reason where I was competing was because of the lifestyle that I enjoyed and all the things surrounding the sport that motivated me. But of course, as you know, being a guy with a family, it changes a little bit. You realize, that like when I stopped fighting, it was like, okay, things had kind of gotten stale. It was hard to get the hair on my back of my neck standing up for fights. I kept challenging myself. I'd go up to Frankie Edgar, go up a weight to fight Frankie Edgar, go down a weight, just trying to find the excitement. And I think that's been added a little bit back with the new baby in the hood.
By the way, we saw that great picture of you, Cody, and Chad. Is Chad done? We haven't heard from him. What's going on there?
I don't know what Chad's doing. I mean, Chad stays in amazing shape, and he's still in here in the gym on occasion doing his thing, but he's spending a lot of time with his brand new baby, and he also has his Fins and Feathers business. So I don't think he's ruled out a fight possibly, but as of right now, I don't think he's got anything on the horizon or thinking about it. So you'd have to ask him on his exact plans, but right now he's definitely not focusing on the fight world.
Is your plan to stick around for TJ? I know it's a while, it's a year and a half, but is that the goal, to stick around to meet him when he comes back?
I mean, I'll have to see how I feel. Where I feel right now, I feel pretty incredible. Who knows how I'll feel at that time? I've always been kind of a late developer and somebody that's always had good health. So it's all going to be about timing and me. Now, if he comes back, it'll be, I guess a year and a half. That's not that long. So we'll have to see how that pans out. And, one of the reasons, and Dana's talked about it also, and I talked to Murilo Bustamante and some of the other guys, the guys that don't cheat, the guys that don't do EPO and HGH and microdosing testosterone or whatever the hell the kids are doing these days, have a better longevity. Joints, just body intact. You're operating as your body's supposed to. So for me, I think that's part of the reasons why I've been in the top my entire career, in the top echelon, the top 10, the top 2, the top 3, the top 1, my entire career. And so I feel good. We'll have to see at that point. I mean, that's when you think about big fights. For me in the weight class, I mean, Kron was exciting, just the thought of it, because there's a lot of hype around him right now and the history with his family. But, there's no history like the TJ Dillashaw history, that's for sure.
Are you the co-main event?
Yeah, I believe so.
Why not the main event?
Well, there's talks to have me do the main event. Honestly, you get paid the same amount, but you just fight 2 more rounds. And it'd be cool, I guess, but I'd rather fight 3 rounds, get my feet wet, and you know, do you know who the main event is? I know Lad is. I don't know who the other girl is.
It's Jermaine Durandamy, former UFC women's featherweight champion. She beat Holly Holm, but then got stripped.
Yeah, so those two. I mean, she got stripped.
Yeah, because she didn't want to fight. She didn't want to fight Cyborg. You don't remember that story?
Oh, well, I don't blame her on that one. Cyborg's the beat. Well, she'd have to go up a weight?
No, she was the women's featherweight champion, but it was a weird thing. She said she didn't want to fight a former drug user. It was a bizarre thing, and she's kind of taken some heat for it. And I think that's why when the I think it's a great fight, but I think some people were a little underwhelmed because she still hasn't regained the trust of the crowd, so to speak, the fans.
Yeah, I don't know. But I'll tell you what. In Sacramento, I'm going to be fighting my butt off 3 rounds against a young, tough kid. I'm excited for that. You know, Ricky Simone, just watching him fight, he reminds me of a younger version of me where he pushes the pace. He doesn't get tired. He's got a well-rounded game. He does have terrible hair, so that doesn't count. But but his mentality is awesome. So I'm excited for this fight. And you know, I was thinking they might have had a different main event. We're waiting around to see who it would be. I don't know if there's other matchups that could have been thrown in that mix, but you know, I spoke to Dana about it, and he said, "Hey, these girls are top in the world at what they do, and so it's deserving of a main event." I said, "All right. I mean, as far as name recognition goes, I could use some help to get the thing pumping, but he thinks it's going to be a good fight." He compared this fight to when he made Ronda Rousey a main event. I don't quite see that, but you know, I'm going to get behind it and do my part. You know what I mean?
I like your positive approach to it all. Are we going with California Kid? Are we still sticking with that?
Yes, sir.
Yes, I like it. Don't worry about that. Kid, I mean, it's young at heart. You got to be young at heart, right? That's what matters. And,
man, hey, what's going on? Your new show, I feel like your energy's low, man. What's going on? You okay?
My energy? Really? You're the
energy's low.
What?
What's going on?
My
dude?
energy
you
is
all right?
low. We spent 10 minutes talking about text messages earlier. I thought that's one of the finest like 10-minute stretches of this year for me. Now I'm going to be thinking about this and feeling bad about it.
Yeah, you're self-conscious.
Yeah, geez Louise. All right, now my energy is low. Okay, so let me ask you this. Why did Cynthia Calvillo leave Alpha Male?
You know, you'd have to ask her on that. She actually sat down with me, and sounds like some personal relationships. You know, I know that she had gone after her last win. You know, she's done her last 2 camps at our gym, but like slowly been pulling away. You know, Buckles has been doing like the Who's Coming With Me from what's the movie?
Oh yes, I know the one
with Tom Cruise.
Yes. Jerry Maguire.
What's it called?
Jerry Maguire.
Yeah, he'd been doing that scene where he leaves the office for about 2.5 years, tugging on the poor girl. So then he went around and when she was doing her PR, went and did a bunch of interviews with her and basically talked crap on the team. And I think it maybe made Cynthia uncomfortable. Some of the coaches, you know, around, they've been like, you know, being a little bit awkward. And she just came in and was like, you know what, have some personal relationships. Like I said, I don't want to get into her personal stuff. And she's like, I'm gonna do my thing. I know that she's talked to Fabio and David Klingsheim and Josiah McHale on our team, who are all part of our team, and trying to get some help there. But I'm not really sure. I was sad to see it. I mean, Cynthia has been a product of our team for the last however many 6 years, something like that, and she's you know, she's a hard worker. Was always bringing positivity to the team, and we wish her best of luck.
That was a good answer there. That was a good answer, Uriah. I like it. Much respect. Well done. I wish people can see your face right now, but because I feel like you're smiling. I just sense it, but unfortunately we can't see you, and that's unfortunate. You know, our buddy, our mutual friend, Chael Sonnen, actually trains with Ricky, and he told me that he's the best fighter that he's ever seen in practice. You know this?
Ooh, practice guys. I've seen a lot of those guys.
Yeah, you have. I'm sure you have. So that doesn't intimidate you.
Practice. No. Who's he practicing against?
I don't know. Maybe Austin Vanderford. You know him, right?
I trained with Austin. Yeah.
Yeah.
Austin's pretty tough.
Yeah. Paige Van Zant.
Yeah. Awesome.
Chael Sonnen.
Paige Van Zant stuff. Chael Sonnen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Paige is a girl.
Right.
Austin's a 205 pounder, and Chael's a 205 pounder. So
Okay.
I'm looking forward to it. He looks like a tough fighter, man.
All right. Well,
Absolutely.
Urijah, I appreciate this. I'm sorry for screwing up your plans. Welcome back officially. I'm looking forward to the fight July 13th. All my concerns have now been put to rest. I feel good about it all. Congratulations again on the lovely baby. Say hello to your parents for me. And I hope to see you soon. And I wish you the best in training.
Likewise, brother. Hope you're doing good.
All right, there he is, the one and only Urijah Faber, the California Kid. He is not getting rid of the nickname, contrary to popular belief. Just because he's a dad, just because he's 40 years old, he's sticking with it, all right? So all of you can shove it. 2017 UFC Hall of Fame modern era wing inductee, one of 3 UFC bantamweights with 10-plus wins. Dillashaw Sunsao the other. All right. My friends, as I said, 2016, May of 2016, we did an interview with Nate Diaz that at the time pretty much broke the internet. It was coming off the win over Conor McGregor and into the negotiations, and everything was mad. 2017, we followed it up with another interview. And that was equally, if not greater. But for 2 years, I have been unable to secure this man to come on the show, to get him to agree to come on the show. We have been looking for him. It is 2 years in the making. And I know a lot of you said it wouldn't happen. I know a lot of you said the odds were he would not show up. But like he did in 2016 and 2017, not only is he here, he is early and on time, if that is even possible, if that makes sense. Without further ado, let us say hello to the pride of Stockton, California, the one and only Nathan Diaz. My man, Nate, how are you?
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing great. It's good to talk to you again. It's been a while.
Can you see my whole face?
Yeah, you look great.
Thank you.
Where are you right now?
I'm at my apartment over in Stockton. In the lobby.
Oh, you're outside?
I'm inside. That's the back. That's the backyard.
Okay.
You got to tell me when my face ain't in the camera because I saw our last interview and I had like half a face the whole time.
I know. Okay, I'll tell you. So you want me to interrupt you when your face isn't there?
Just remind me, yeah, that I'm cut off.
By the way, you don't have headphones, do you?
I don't.
Okay, it's fine because there's a little bit of music back there, but we can still hear you and see you just fine. Nate,
it's a good song.
That is a good song. What song is that?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, Nate, I have to say I'm delighted that you're here. Tilt the camera just a little bit up because I want to see your whole face. Just a little bit. There you go. No. Now a little down. Yeah, that's perfect. Where have you been, Nate? How come you've stayed out of the limelight for so long?
Buying real estate. Remember 40?
What's that?
Oh, I've been rolling.
You been? Well, it's what is going on?
My name is Gennady.
Who's that?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's just someone's on the phone, I think.
Yeah, no, the waitress. I was ordering some.
You're ordering some food? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's good to have you back on the show. I noticed that they posted this promo. You are fighting. This is the question I think everyone wants to know. You are fighting August 17th against Anthony Pettis. Is that correct?
August 17th. Yeah.
Anaheim, California, and the UFC posted a promo and said essentially that you're back, and you said you didn't go anywhere. What did you mean by that?
I'm just saying I've been here the whole time.
So why has it been 3 years since your last fight?
There's no coming back from never being gone.
Right. Why did it take 3 years though to get you back?
Just the way they work things, probably the way the UFC worked. We didn't get it worked out any fights, so I don't know. That's just how it went.
By the way, this location much better than the other location.
Can you see me now?
Well, it's better if you're closer to the camera so we can hear you, but it's so much. It's just cleaner, the audio. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, this is phenomenal. If you can stay here, it'd be great.
All right.
Okay.
I live up there
That's where you live.
on the balcony.
Is this in Stockton?
This Stockton, yeah.
It looks great.
Hey man, your office looks great.
I'm just happy to see you. I was just taking it all in. It's great to see your face.
Yeah, right on, man. Thank you.
I think for the both of us, I said this earlier, but look at us now. We're on ESPN, Nate. Started from the bottom, now we hear like Drake said.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. Why Anthony Pettis?
I think it was just the best fight. He's coming off a good win, and he's one of the top guys, one of the better guys in the division, and most entertaining fighters in the UFC. I like that. It's a guy that I would actually enjoy watching over the rest of these fighters. Everybody's pretty. It's getting boring, the fight game. So I'm like, if I'm gonna take part in any fights, I would like it to be a fight that's interesting, not only to me, to the fight fan. Because if I'm a fight fan, I want to see an interesting fight. I don't want to see a boring fight.
Did you see his fight against Wonder Boy?
I did.
Were you impressed by that?
You want to know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't see the fight with Wonder Boy. I saw the knockout, and I saw some jacked up footage from other places. But I went on the UFC Fight Pass, and they don't put that fight on there. I don't think so. If they could, that would be nice, so I could watch my opponent fight.
Do you feel like they didn't put it up there so that you can't study him?
No. I'm just saying. Well, I don't understand where the fights are. I thought all the new fights would go up there. I would imagine. That's
Right.
why you buy the Fight Pass, right? So
Right.
no, it wasn't up. So I went back to watch it 6 or 7 times, man, thinking it might be up by now, and it hasn't been up. But that's a good win. And that guy's just fought for the title with Woodley a couple times, and was having some good wins and some good fights. Boring fights. But he's having some good success there, and I was glad that somebody who's been in the game a while. Anthony's been in the game for a while. I'm not into anybody who doesn't put their time in, put their work in, and put some good fights on. So it's good to find a worthy opponent.
I've been talking to Anthony for a while, and I had him on my show a couple of weeks ago, and I've never heard him speak about an opponent the way he spoke about you. He really doesn't like you. Did you happen to hear that interview?
You guys been talking? Is that your boy or what?
Who?
Anthony.
No. I mean, I have a lot of respect for him. I don't know if he's my boy. Can I play you a clip of what he said about you and get your response to it? Do you mind?
No.
Okay. Well, he said he really doesn't like you, and that this is personal. Are you surprised that he doesn't like you so much?
No, but it's whatever. It's a fight game. I don't think you should necessarily be friends with the guy you're fighting anyway. So it's cool.
Were you like taken aback by this? I mean, did you know that there was such deep feelings towards you?
No, it doesn't make a difference. I didn't care.
Okay. Do you share the same feelings about him?
No, I don't. I think he's just fine. He's, like I said, he's got some good wins in the UFC, and he's done a good job. And he's got some losses too, but he's got some entertaining shit that he's done, and I'm cool with that.
Is part of the appeal for this particular fight that it's at 170 and not 155?
What do you mean? Part of the appeal, like the reason why it's.
Do you like the fact that it's at 170, that you don't have to cut the extra 15 pounds?
Yeah, I'm just done with the 155 thing. That's in the past now. So I think it's time to start fighting at a more comfortable weight class. There's nothing for me there. I already did everything, beat everybody. I feel I'm the king of that division. In the car, I feel like I'm the king of that division anyways. I mean, I am the king of that division, so I'm just gonna leave it where it's at. It's just like there was no love for it. There's no love for me over there, so it's not worth putting any time into that. What's up, man?
Sorry, I left you, brother. How you doing, man?
Good. How you doing?
Oh man, it's good to see you,
Good to
brother.
see you, too.
Right on, Nate, for sure.
That's awesome.
Well, then say.
Yeah, you said that you're the king.
I'm done with the 55 thing.
So no more 55. You will not fight there anymore.
Yeah, I think there's no opponents over there. That shit's weak.
So when you say you feel like you're already the king of the division, I feel like most people would then respond, well, what about Khabib? Undefeated, he's the champion. What do you mean when you say king?
Khabib, I already slapped him in his face. I already told you guys that. So it's like you're gonna and I beat Conor before him, quicker than him, easier than him, and then he's just gonna ignore that and then just act like whatever. He's a little big headed right now, you know. So I'm just like whatever. I don't need to fight him anyways because I already got a victory over him. So it's like. He's just gonna hide out and play champ and act like a good guy and fucking Mr. fucking humble fucking Khabib. I'm like, I'm not buying that shit. I don't need to sit around here and fucking chase nobody. If anybody needs to do any chasing, they gotta come this way. So I'm gonna retire that vision as champ. I slapped both Conor and Khabib. So how did that make anybody? A winner.
When did you snap? And by the way, if tilt your thing down just a smidge so I can see your full face. So I'm just looking out. There you go. There you go. When did you slap? Oh, when did you slap Khabib?
At World Series of Fighting, and the reason why he got slapped was because he was not humble and not this nice guy. He was sitting there with his friends trying to get a fight with me, taking a picture of me, making fun of me. And so I capitalized and told him, fuck you, and I slapped him in his face, and he was spooked for his life. And his whole team was nobody did shit. I had Kron Gracie with me. We're standing there 2-on-15, and that whole Russian army thought they were hard to everybody else, but they were scared for their lives when that happened. So why do I have to sit around and chase like I'm like what? He's new at this whole champion shit too. He thinks he's ahead of the game, ahead of everybody, and he's just hiding out. But soon he's gonna realize there ain't nobody to fight anyway. He fucked up because he could have fought me, but he's playing big dog. So I was like, you know what? I don't need to sit here and fucking wait for no fights. I need to get this show on the road. I'm not playing with these fucking lightweights anymore. Can you see me better that way?
That is better, although like now it's like vertical, so there's black, so it's not as good for TV. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're cool like that. That's perfect. So you feel like he's kind of feeling himself now that he became the champ?
Yeah, but I'm not here to even talk about him. I don't give a fuck about all that.
All right.
I'm just saying, I'm done with 155. I'm done with all those little bitches. You know what I'm saying? Poirier pussed out, hurt his fucking midsection in there. I don't believe that either. I think he mentally fucking pussed out, and then now that's the guy fighting for the title, and Khabib's loving that because he's gonna have an easy fight. You're like, get the fuck out of here. So that's why that division retired. I own all those motherfuckers.
So I wanted to ask you about Dustin because we have not heard from you much since all that went down. You were supposed to fight him in New York, and then there was some talk that you guys would be the main event, and you were pushing for 165. Could you tell us from your perspective what happened there? We've heard Dustin's story, but what happened from your side of things?
Yeah, the whatever happened had nothing to do with him. He mentally fucked himself, and he pulled out of the fight.
He pulled out.
So that's a win. That's a win. I slapped to the face, and you not doing shit. I walked here the fighting. That's a win. And then Connor fucking got it. That's a win too. Like, you know what I'm saying? And in the second fight, like, I'm gonna say, okay, I didn't win that fight. All right, I didn't win that fight, but more so than I didn't win that fight, I definitely didn't lose that fight. So then, and then I got fucking, I got shitted on by the UFC and the media the whole 3 years. So that's what's been going on. I ain't been nowhere. I've been right here doing what I'm doing.
So,
and that's my thoughts on those guys. So I'm done with that division, and I'm gonna do this 170 thing with Anthony Pettis, who's a good fighter compared to these other guys who are mentally pussies and getting slapped in their faces. This guy's down to fight, and we're gonna go in there and have a fight, and that's what it's gonna be. And if he likes me or not, it's all good. We both gotta go there and fight, and that's what's gonna happen. And it's the main event. They're gonna call it the co-main event, but that's the degrading shit they do to me because they don't want no love or no points going my way because it's not Nate Diaz UFC. It's Nate Diaz versus UFC or UFC versus Nate Diaz for some reason. So it's like I'm just gonna do what I got to do to keep moving forward. And sitting on the sidelines like that, I thought, I was like, well, fuck them. I don't need to fight nobody then if you guys ain't gonna give me no love. And then I'm like, oh wait, this is exactly what they want me to do. They want me to die somewhere or fall off the bridge. Like, I'm like, I'm good. I'm gonna find the best fight I could get. And then I see Pettis knock out Thompson. I'm like, that's worthy. And then I called him and I was like, yo, yeah, we'll let's do the Pettis thing. And making no lightweight, I'm done with that though, because that division's weak sauce. I owned it already. And then so now we're moving forward with that 170. And then they pulled me out of the rankings to 55 the next day. And then I was like, okay, that's cool because I'm done with 155. And then they made a big deal over the internet. Nate got pulled from the rankings. And I'm like, haha, you guys think everybody's dissing me to me? He's out of the rankings. I'm like, no, I just moved out of the rankings to 170, so that was my call. So here we are, 170, and that's it. Should be the champ of that division too. There ain't nobody even doing anything there except for Anthony Pettis. So here we are, the best fight you could find in the whole lightweight welterweight division, and this is the main event that we're all tuning in for. With all due respect to the heavyweights, who are great also, but they can't be having me headlining no cards. They can't be having me getting any Nate Diaz points. That's what I'm saying. So I got to do it all myself, and this is how we do it.
How close were you, Nate?
Hey, did you see that? CBD deal I got for the UFC?
No, tell me about it.
Yeah, they got a huge deal. Like, I don't know much about it. It's a huge deal, but
you opened the door for them.
You're welcome, motherfuckers.
Do you find
you know
it?
what I'm saying? And that's cool. That's cool. But can I get my points? You know what I'm saying? Who brought CBD to the table? Now everybody's got these CBD sponsorships, and now it's in football and basketball, and it's legal, and the UFC's paid out, and all the fighters got their own individual sports, even the ones who don't smoke no weed. So everybody's in the cannabis movement now because of your boy.
Yes.
So
what about Game Up?
I appreciate the love from the UFC for showing who started this gangster shit.
That's right, and I believe you're involved. What's this Game Up company that you're involved with?
Game Up CBD. Now that's my company. That's CBD, all CBD, no psychoactives, and we're doing that now since the CBD has blown up for everybody else now. I'm like, well, what the fuck? I should have been had my own company a long time ago instead of just using the shit. So we got the best stuff there is. The best stuff I like, the liquids, the bombs, all that shit, and then we made the same ingredient type of stuff, the best stuff I like, and we made our own brand, and it's gonna be a lifestyle brand. We're gonna do all kinds of cool shit.
And where can people get it?
Game Up Nutrition. I don't even know the website, but the Instagram is Game Up Nutrition.
Okay, all right.
I'm about to launch a cannabis strain also. So after the fight, we're gonna have a cannabis strain and Game Up after party. So that's coming soon. It should be bigger than the fight.
What's the strain called?
That's coming soon.
Okay. What is it? What, like, does it have a flavor to it? Like, I like fruity. You know, I'm a fruity kind of guy.
It's gonna be the bomb. It's gonna be the bomb.
Do you find
real
it
sticky, yicky?
Oh yes,
Yeah.
yes. I've heard. Do you find?
We're gonna get high, Ariel.
No, well, I don't know about that. I've never had the pleasure, but I hear it's great. Do you find that it's a little hypocritical? Like, you and your brother have been ostracized in the past for your use of cannabis, and now it's. What's that?
Okay. No, I was talking about boy.
Oh. Do you find it funny that now, like, everyone's involved in this? When you guys in the past were ostracized for it, you were kind of viewed as black sheep because of it?
Yeah, we were both suspended and fined for weed and CBD. So
Yeah.
it's like, and now everybody's getting paid for it. So it's like, shit.
I know. It's crazy.
And then they're throwing all these fucking dorks all on the UFC Hall of Fame every left and right. Put for whatever reasons. I'm like, we're the ones doing all the cool shit.
That website.
Not that I want to be in the Hall of Fame, but the Hall of Fame shit is fucking silly. I'm like, put the right people in there.
The old school guys, right?
Yeah. What about Jens Pulver? Isn't he trying to get in there? Aren't they trying to get Jens Pulver in the Hall of Fame? That'd be cool.
Jens Pulver, Frank Shamrock. None of these guys are in there.
Yeah. Yeah, they're putting fucking Michael Bisping in there or some shit. What the fuck? I'm not shooting at Michael Bisping, but like, shouldn't there be some other people first? Isn't Bisping a little new for that?
I agree. There should be like a 5-year wait period, right?
I think Bisping's been in the UFC longer than me, but you know what I'm saying? As far as I don't want to be in the UFC, in the Hall of Fame. Anyways, I'm just saying about the OGs.
Right. I agree with you. I couldn't agree more.
I don't even know how I got on that topic, but I was thinking about that the other day. I'm like, what the fuck? Nick should definitely be in the Hall of Fame. But that's up to them. They don't want no points our way.
How close were you, Nate, to getting that 165-pound division started?
Fucking, you know, that I might have slowed that down. Hey, but just when it starts though, we know who started it.
That's right. It seemed like you were close. You made an announcement.
Yeah. Poirier couldn't deal with that. He's like, man, this is too much for my head, man. I got to go.
So he pulled out, not you, because I think the story was that you pulled out. He pulled out, and then you were left without an opponent. Never
pulled out a fight in my life.
Right.
No, yeah, he was like, dude, I can't deal with this. There was no injury. If I got hurt, I'm sure we would there to have to be like, man, you got to bring an X-ray. You got to do this.
Now, I thought when this all went down that the door was open to finally doing the trilogy fight between you and Conor. Was that ever in discussion?
Look at this bike right here.
Oh.
S-Works. She boy. My boy Rudy gave me this.
That's yours?
That's my bike.
Wow.
I'm about to go ride it in the mountains.
Oh, wow. You know, I don't know how to ride a bike, Nate.
That's childish.
Yeah, I know. I'm embarrassed.
Yeah.
But I'm man enough to say it to the world here.
Yeah.
But can I? Was there ever any talks of this? It seemed like this was the perfect time to finally do it once and for all. Was there ever any talks?
Are you talking about Conor?
Yeah. Don't forget to turn the phone, by the way, if you don't mind.
Yeah. My bad.
No problem.
Conor's ass was like, dude, that was really disappointing to me because what happened was, like I said, I didn't lose that fight, and then they gave him an easy fucking Eddie Alvarez fight at the they gave him the Eddie Alvarez fight, and then he won the title. So I beat him after he won the 45 title and before he won the 155-pound title, and then he fought Floyd Mayweather, and then they're just dissing me, saying that I'm fucking turning down fights. And I was like, dude, what are you talking about? You're fucking giving this guy the world, and you're just putting me down. That's why I haven't been fighting. Why am I gonna work for you if you guys are over here playing me, you know? So then 3 years went by, and then they start expecting that I'm gonna start screaming for fucking Conor as soon as he loses. Like, no, dude. I won that last fight. I'll fight Khabib. And then Khabib's like playing like I gotta win something to get to him. I'm like, what are you talking about, dude? You gotta win to get to me. I slapped you. So that's my thoughts on that. That's how I feel. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, dude, I don't care what people think. If they think you can beat me, if they think I deserve one, I don't give a fuck. If someone fucking slapped me, that'd be my first kill. That's the person I'm coming for, and nobody else.
So there was no talk of it, and as far as you're concerned right now, you're not interested in it. Is that accurate?
No, I'm not interested in it at all. I'm interested in winners. He lost his fight, and I won my last fight. So I'm like, you think I'm just trying to fight some guy who just got his ass beat all over the place? I'm a black belt in jiu-jitsu. That shit wouldn't happen to me. Real jiu-jitsu, Gracie jiu-jitsu. Not who the fuck did he just beat up? He beat up Conor. Conor did some whack jiu-jitsu fucking from whoever. I'm like, dude, I grew up in this shit. I've been watching the Worlds too. Have you seen the Worlds lately?
No, I didn't get a chance.
Yeah, I just went on. It was a bunch of funny stuff going on over there too. If I wasn't doing this fight thing, I'd be winning all those, dude. I've been training with like the best jiu-jitsu guys since I started. I just got stuck in a cage, so I didn't get to do all that. And all these jiu-jitsu guys that win, I'm like, man, that looks like a lot of fun, but I got some fighting to do, so I can't be up in there right now. But my boys are. I got my boy Randy Spence over here coaching at the Nate Diaz Academy, and he's running a good little team over here. Everybody's doing good at the tournament, so we're gonna start having guys up at those Worlds winning those shits too. Not just in MMA, we're gonna be taking over the jiu-jitsu scene.
You remember when we saw you in LA and that was like the big return and you were on the press conference and then you left in the middle? What happened there?
What are you talking about?
You remember that press conference in LA last summer when you were supposed to fight Dustin and then like you showed up late and then you walked off the stage? Could you tell us what happened?
Yeah, they just played me. Like there's a lot of stuff supposed to be done that wasn't done. Like I don't know why I'm going to a press conference this early. Okay, I guess that's how it goes. So like, if I go to a press conference, I'm not going to be sitting in the front row in front of nobody. I don't want to be in the front like that. And then they put me in front of these guys, and then they're busting out Conor McGregor commercials on this press conference that they're announcing everywhere that I'm going to be at. So I'm like, don't use me for any of that shit. I just realized I was bullshitted a whole bunch. So I just was like, I'm gone. I ain't got time to do all this.
Okay. But you were planning on fighting. It just annoyed you in that moment.
Oh no! Right then I was pissed because I knew that they had lied to me about some things.
Like what?
So I planned on fighting.
What did they lie to you about?
But then they did shit. They did stuff like I said, okay, like what they're doing now. They're not gonna let me main event no cards, right? They're like, we don't need. I'm like, all right, well that's cool. You guys are like I said, they don't want to give me no points, so they're like, we're gonna co-headline you. I'm like, all right, cool, but it better be under the heavyweight championships, anything. And they're like, all right, let's do this. And they were insinuating like John Jones was gonna be the title, right? Weren't they gonna do something like that?
Yeah.
And then when it fell through, they started saying, "Oh, we're looking for a main event." Oh, and then they started saying it was gonna be girls. I was like, "Oh, you guys are fucking bullshitting me now." So they knew that I wasn't having no part of that. That's when I said we was gonna headline for the new weight division, because that's what should have been happening.
Prior to that, there seemed to be some talk that you would fight the then champion Tyron Woodley for the belt, and then Woodley said he was down.
Yeah,
what happened there? Was there a real offer? Was that really a thing? Because you remember Dana said some lawyer went off the reservation. What happened there? Was that a real thing?
Yeah. He's the same lawyer set up the Poirier fight.
Who's the lawyer?
Hey, they wanted me to do a four-man tournament with GSP and Khabib and Conor too. And then right as soon as that shit falls through, though, then they start downplaying me all the time. That's crazy. You got me on a diss in the UFC interview, motherfucker. Is this plan or what?
No, not at all. I just...
Quit making me diss the UFC. That's my company, dude.
Okay.
That's my company, dog.
I'm sorry. No, there's just a lot that's happened over the last... I've been waiting to talk to you for 2 years. You know, a lot's going on.
Hey, remember when you asked me what I was smoking up top?
Yes.
At the press conference? Remember when I made up my own? They made up a rule for me, the Nate Diaz rule.
Yes.
From smoking CBD.
Yeah.
That was cool.
There's now a rule that they should call it the Nate Diaz rule, right?
They do.
They actually call it that?
Yeah, I heard Jeff Novitzky say that on the Joe Rogan podcast.
Wow, they actually call it the Nate Diaz rule. That's a huge credit to you, a compliment, right?
Yeah, for sure. That was cool.
Okay, so the Woodley thing was real, though. I just wanted to confirm that was a real offer.
Yeah, that was a close fight we almost had going, but
what happened?
It just didn't work out. Something happened. I can't remember.
And the GSP thing was real too. All these things were real.
That was real too. Yeah.
Would you have done that?
Yeah, then I was done playing with, that was not almost, but I was done with all that playing, and then I was like, all right, so then I called him for Poirier. That was on me, too.
Okay.
I was like, let's do the Poirier thing, and then he didn't make it to the fight.
Now, okay, so you said 170.
So now he's the champion, that's what I'm saying, and now he's the champion.
Yeah.
You notice everybody that's got some type of championship has something to do with me. I'm like... And they all won't fight me, so how am I not the fucking champion? Only Conor will fight me after he gets his ass whipped all over the place. I'm good.
What do you make of what's happened to Conor in the past year or so with all the legal troubles that he's had?
And what you call it? Pettis said I went fucking. Pettis said I went silent or gone after the Conor fight. But what happened was. When he was the champ, all on the Wheaties box, the same shit was happening. They were all pumping him up. He was brand new. I've been here. And then I was trying to get a fight with him, and he was big leaguing me all the time like I wasn't here. So I was like, well, what the fuck? That's when I tweeted, remember, I was like, I'm fighting Pettis. They said I was fighting somebody out of nowhere. They said I was fighting Matt Brown or somebody back in the day. And I was like, nah, fuck that. I'm fighting Pettis. You're just going to tell me they were rumoring shit, you know? And now I'm fighting Pettis, and no one acknowledged that ever. You know what I'm saying? So fucking... And then fucking, as soon as I fought Conor, this motherfucker was trying to fight me, and Eddie Alvarez was calling all the time for me. I'm like, Eddie Alvarez was supposed to fight me after he fought Gilbert. He started talking shit to Gilbert after winning, and I'm like, dude, why don't you shut up? You guys are gonna fight tomorrow. Have some respect. You're lucky I don't beat your ass or whatever. And he's like, oh, then he beat Gilbert hella lame style, and then I was hella pissed afterwards. Are you there?
Yeah, we're still here. The video, we lost you in the video though.
Yeah, and then I was pissed, dude. I was in Mexico, fucking throwing a fit. I was pissed off, dude, and I was ready to see Eddie Alvarez. He was saying I was next, dude, and I wasn't trying to start a ruckus, but I was really mad. My boy lost, you know what I'm saying? And then throwing a fit in the back because I was pissed off. I was like, motherfucker, and then Pettis and his fucking little team of fucking hotshots came rolling by. It was him and Megan Livy and fucking Joseph Benavidez, and they were walking by all cool like they're on the red carpets and Gucci shit at a fight. And I'm like, dude, you see me throwing a fit over here? You're gonna walk by me with your fucking ass beat right now. You know what I'm saying? Because I already know him from prior. I was like, what the fuck you talking about? You're going to walk by here when you know I'm pissed off? So I was like, fuck you too, and didn't do shit. And then we did the interview, me and you, and then since then I seen him 3 times, and it's all good. So it's like, I ain't got no problem with him. That's done. You know what I'm saying? He should have knew from the rules of the game. He shouldn't have been coming by no motherfucker flipping out. You know what I'm saying? He said, I want to mouth off for the cameras. And did you hear him say that I had 3 months on the Ultimate Fighter with Gilbert, and I didn't say shit, but when the cameras are on, I had something to say. I'm like, dude, if I had 3 months on the Ultimate Fighter with you, what the fuck? The cameras were on the whole time, and I had no problem with you. You came over when I was flipping out and got your ass punked a little bit, so if you're mad about that, man, that's fucking your bad. You shouldn't have did that. That's your fault. But I'm good. I ain't got no problem with nobody. That's him. If he's hurt, that ain't me. That's just what I think about that.
Well, by the way, speaking of going to events, in March, why did they have signs of you at the event? Don't let this man in. Don't let you and Colby Covington backstage. Did you see that? Those pictures?
What you call it? Did you know, are you going to Vegas for the fight weekend?
Yeah.
What is that, July? What's that?
6th.
Yeah, July 5th, right? Or 6th?
6th.
Yeah, we're going to watch. I'm going there with Gilbert Melendez. We're going to watch him fight. I'm excited about that. That should be cool.
Yeah. But why did they have those signs at T-Mobile Arena not to let you in?
I'm going to whip your ass, Ariel Helwani. What the fuck?
Well, I'm sorry. Okay. I don't know. It just seemed weird. Okay, what about Colby? Because he came on the show after saying that you guys exchanged words. What do you think of Colby Covington? He's now in your division.
I don't really think too much about him. I never exchanged no word with Colby Covington.
Oh. You never had an exchange with him?
Yeah. No.
What do you think about his fight with Kamaru Usman? Who do you think wins that fight?
I don't know who those guys are. When did that fight happen?
Oh no, that's the upcoming title fight. They haven't announced the date yet, but Kamaru's the new champion.
That's what I'm talking about. That's the upcoming title fight. Who are all these people? Fucking new ass people that ain't nobody knows about. I'm like, dude. That's why I'm the champ of these divisions. Don't no one know who these motherfuckers are.
That's right. You never seen them before.
Yeah. Time to look. Alright, I gotta go. Ariel Helwani, you made me late for shit.
Why? Where are you going?
I'm going to bed. I'm supposed to do some riding out here. It's gonna be a good day.
Okay.
Over here, slow my roll.
Who
else is on the show today?
That's it. We're done after you. Who else was on?
Yeah, who'd you have on?
We had Urijah Faber, your guy. Actually, he said that he was offered to fight Crone, but it fell through, maybe because Crone's buddy with you guys. I don't know. Do you know about that?
Yeah, no, I don't know. Something like that. We don't fight with Faber. Faber's my partner, man. So,
yeah, he's a good guy.
I don't know what happened with him and Crone, but probably something along those lines might have been the reason.
We had Triple G on, and he says he loves watching you fight. He says he's a big fan of yours.
Oh, right on. That's cool. How about that Ruiz? Did you see Ruiz knock out Joshua this weekend?
Yes, the first Mexican-American heavyweight champion.
That was cool as hell, right?
You like that guy? You know him?
I didn't know him. That's what's the best part about it. You know what I'm saying? And then I watched everything since then. I've been looking at all the shit. I'm like, dude, this is great that a motherfucker like that. They should have been keeping their eye on and marketing him, but they didn't want to do all that. I'm like, I love it, man. It's great to see somebody like that. Because you watch him, he's the man. He's good, you know.
That's right.
And it's hard for me to keep up because I got my whole bracket of every division and all these different martial arts, boxing and kickboxing and shit to keep up on. It's hard to keep up on the heavyweights and the girls and the different weights and everything. So it's cool to see somebody you haven't heard of just come out of nowhere and take out the poster boy. That's fun to see. I liked it.
Do you still dream of going to boxing?
Dream?
Or think about it? Do you still think about it?
Dude, I'll do all that. That's my next moves. If these motherfuckers would let me box, like they're letting other motherfuckers box. I've been boxing a long time ago.
Right.
I'm stuck in a cage. But I'm with it, though. I'm with it. So it's cool. As soon as we get this fight done, we'll see what happens next.
Did you miss fighting? Did you, like, because you haven't done it in 3 years, like you missed the training camp and just getting ready for a fight?
No, I missed just fucking, I missed seeing real motherfuckers on the television, said all these little bitches that are winning shit and fucking piping up shit. If that makes any sense.
It makes a lot of sense.
I'm gonna holler at you later, Ariel. I gotta get going.
That's it? We're done after all that, after 2 years?
I gotta go, man. I got training to do and a fight coming up, so I ain't got time for all this.
All right, well, I appreciate it, Nate. Thank you for doing this. It's good to talk to you again.
Hey, good talking to you, and I'll see you soon. I'll see you in Vegas a weekend.
All right, there he is, Nate Diaz. Back in our life, and there he has gone. I do believe they will do a press conference for him July 5th, I believe it is. Him and Anthony Pettis and Daniel Cormier, and also Stipe Miocic for that pay-per-view August 17th in Anaheim. So there it is. A bit of a frenetic affair, but we got him. I told you. What do we go? 25, 15, 40 minutes or so with Nate? About 40, 45 with Nate. The best part was when he was outdoors there by himself. That's when it really was humming, at least for me. But there you have it. So a little bit of this, a little bit of that. What did we learn? He's back. I thought it was interesting when he went back to the Anthony Pettis thing. At the end there, it sounds like all those fights that we had heard that he was in talks to do, the GSP fight, the Tyron Woodley fight, the quote-unquote off-the-reservation fight, all those things were real. Dustin Poirier, real. He's the champion at 155. He's also the champion at 170. So I think Nate Diaz has returned. I know he doesn't like the term back or that he left, but I don't know how else to put it. I think he's back. And I know a lot of people didn't think that August 17th, would be a real thing, but it's clearly a real thing. It clearly is a real thing. So there you have it. Nate Diaz, UFC 241 against Anthony Pettis. This is the longest layoff of his career. 9 UFC wins via decision, 1,926 total strikes landed in UFC competition. That's the 7th most in company history. A little timeline of Nate Diaz, courtesy of Corporate Jake. As you can see, he hasn't fought since August of 2016. Lost that fight via majority decision. Supposed to fight August of 2018 against Dustin Poirier. You remember that press conference when they showed up and then they played the promo and then he walked off and then the fight was canceled. Still not sure why. Poirier said it was because of the hip, then not. Anyway, all a moot point because he is returning August 17th against Anthony Pettis. Thank you to Nate. Thank you to his manager, Zach Rosenfield, for setting that up. By the way, a quick update from Anthony Smith. Anthony Smith reached out to me. Remember, he said that he was going to the doctor. Well, he actually sent me an x-ray of his hand. That's his hand. That's his left hand. Look at that thing. Snap. That's brutal. You could see the break right over there. Anthony, in case you missed it, said that this was the most painful injury that he has ever suffered in his career. So he defeated Alexander Gustafsson on Saturday, and then afterwards, Gustafsson retired. Gustafsson, 32 years young, coming off that loss to John Jones. And I think some people were caught off guard. If you've been listening to Gustafsson over the last few years, I mean, even dating back to I believe the loss to Daniel Cormier at UFC 192, there's been talk that he was going to walk away. There's been talk that he said, I take the losses very hard. My feeling is that he's been taking these losses very hard. And also, as we talked to him last week, there's just been long stretches. There's been long stretches where, he just wouldn't fight because of injuries and whatnot. And so he has walked away. And I'm not surprised because of the long stretches, because of the injuries, and because it seems like when he loses in Sweden in particular, in his home country, that things really start to get to him, that it really bothers him to lose there. We talked about the Rumble Johnson fight back in 2015. So I'm not surprised that he walked away. That he put his gloves in the center of the cage. I think it's a wonderful custom. It's a nice thing that the sport of MMA has taken from the sport of amateur wrestling. At 32, I've asked some people close to him, like, do you really believe that this is it? Do you really believe that he's done? They said it's a little too early. This is part of the statement. One of the things that he said on Saturday, that's really nice what you did there, Corporate Jake, with the picture underneath. Quote, I fight because I love this sport, because I want to be the best and compete against the best. It feels like I don't have it anymore. I've done it for a long time. I'm 32 years old. I have kids, built the life that I wanted thanks to this sport. It feels like I'm getting old. We all have to realize that it's the end of the story. I never did this for the money or anything like that. I did it because I want to be the best. And if I can't be the best, then it is what it is. Now I'll focus on my kids. I own a gym. And I have a couple other projects going on. Let's see what's next. I built the life that I wanted, so let's see what is the next chapter, end quote. So that feels like he's done, that he's at peace with it all. And I hope he doesn't walk away from this sport with his head down. I hope he doesn't walk away embarrassed. I hope he walks away with knowing that he happened to run into arguably the two best fighters in the history of the sport. You can make a very strong case that John Jones and Daniel Cormier are the two greatest fighters in the history of mixed martial arts, right? You can make a very strong case of that. Much like my favorite athlete of all time, Patrick Ewing, much like Karl Malone, much like Charles Barkley, sometimes you compete in an era where the greatest of all time or the greatest of all time happen to be competing at the same time. And I think that's the case. I think that's the best way to describe what Alexander Gustafsson ran into. Because if it wasn't for those guys being around, very good chance he would have held gold at some point. And I remember when he started in the UFC back in 2009, I didn't think he would turn into this. I remember his second UFC fight, he ran into Phil Davis at UFC 112 in Abu Dhabi and was taken down rather easily. He was submitted. No one thought that he would turn into this. Remember, he moved to San Diego. He moved to Chula Vista to train at Alliance and started to work on his footwork, started to figure out how to use his length, use his jab, use his speed, use his boxing. He started to put it all together. And that's when you really started to see him shine. That's when you really started to see him, realize his potential or maybe exceed his potential, his expectations, our expectations. So it's always sad to see one of the greats walk away, especially after a loss, somewhat unexpected, when you consider the fact that 6 months ago he was fighting for the belt. But look, like I said to Anthony Smith, I don't think there's anything to be embarrassed about. I don't think there's anything to be ashamed about. I don't think there's anything to say. Like losing to Anthony Smith in 2015, maybe that's something where you're like, whoa, I just lost to a guy with double-digit losses. Losing to Anthony Smith in 2019 is not something to be embarrassed about. It really isn't. He's not a journeyman anymore. He's not a gatekeeper anymore. He's a legit contender at 205. And so I hope that's not why he's walking away, because he said, I'm embarrassed because I lost to Anthony Smith. Anthony Smith is legit. What he's done in his last 5 fights, 4-1 in his last 5 since losing to Thiago Santos at 185. The one loss, of course, being to John Jones, and beating, Rashad Evans, of course, end of his career, but Shogun still fighting. Volkan Ozdemir still fighting. Didn't work out this weekend for him, but you get the point. And now Gustafsson, nothing, in my opinion, to be ashamed of. And how about 205? All of a sudden, it's amazing what Mick Maynard has done. For the longest time, 205 was a wasteland. It was the most shallow division by far in the UFC. Now, all of a sudden, you got Alexander Rakic, who had a great win on Saturday, and you have to start wondering what happens to Jimmy Manuwa after this, because that was a hard knockout to watch. I mean, his head bounced off the canvas. That was scary. So you have that. You have that fighter. You have Johnny Walker. You have Thiago Santos, who's fighting for the belt. You have Corey Anderson still out there. You have Dominic Reyes out there. You got Glover Teixeira, who's turned back the clock. We had him in studio last week. You've got a lot of big names. You've got a lot of, all of a sudden you've got some legit prospects. Now it's going to be interesting how you match them up, because you don't want to necessarily kill them off, but there's now some names. Are any of those guys legit threats to John Jones? I don't know about that. I saw Rakic say on the post-fight show that not to say that he's in the running, but he wouldn't even entertain the idea of fighting Jones because he still wants some time to develop his skills. But all of a sudden, 205 is no longer the most shallow division in the UFC. And I like the fact that there's a lot of fresh faces. And Anthony Smith, all of a sudden, is right back in the mix. What a guy, Anthony Smith. I am so blown away by him, by his demeanor, by his candor, by his overall package. A guy who has 14 losses, was kind of a middle-of-the-road fighter, now being able to put it together the way he has, really impressive. I've really enjoyed getting to know him over the years, and I will admit I'm a little late to the party here on this one, but man, and very cool, as you see there, seeing other fighters give him props afterwards, because the guy, Lionheart, somewhat of a cliche nickname, it's legit when it comes to Anthony Smith, and he's just so humble and he's just so down to earth. It's amazing to watch him. So that was Saturday in Stockholm. Some other things that happened this weekend as we wrap up an interesting day on the program. We talked about Andy Ruiz and Anthony Joshua, and I wouldn't cry. Again, I wouldn't cry for those promoters. I saw a lot of people. I saw my buddy Stephen A. getting all mad. I get it. You all wanted to see Joshua Wilder. I get it. But who honestly, first of all, Joshua comes back, wins that fight, wins the rematch. The luster has been taken off, but it's not the worst thing. It's really not the worst thing. It's not the worst thing in the world that, you get this extra fight out of him. Don't cry for these guys. Eddie Hearn, I don't feel bad for you. I don't. You guys screwed it up. Why should we feel bad? Why should we be upset? Now we've got this guy, Andy Ruiz, the everyman. It's a beautiful thing. So I'm not going to be upset about it. I don't understand why everyone's upset. Heavyweight division. The world is talking about the heavyweight division. Anyone who's telling you that boxing is dead, A, totally wrong. B, the heavyweight division usually leads the way, right? The heavyweight division, the state of boxing is usually judged based on the state of the heavyweight division. Well, guess what? The heavyweight division hasn't been this interesting in 18 years? 19 years? 15 years? 16 years? Ruiz now, Joshua, Tyson Fury, fighting in just, less than 2 weeks? It's a good time. So I thought that was great. UFC announced that it's going to Copenhagen, Denmark, and Jack Hermanson wants to be on that card, and he should be on that card. That's September 28th in Copenhagen. That's their first show in Copenhagen. He wants to fight Kelvin Gastelum. I have a feeling Kelvin Gastelum will not go to Denmark to fight Jack Hermanson after fighting for the interim title, but maybe I'm wrong. Perhaps I'll be proven wrong. He just went to Australia. That didn't work out. So we'll see, but definitely Jack Hermanson should be on the card. How about John Gotti III and Nick Newell winning this past weekend? Two prospects, I guess you could say, in their own right, although Newell obviously a little older. Gotti wants to take his time. The son of John Gotti II wants to, and of course his grandfather being the infamous John Gotti, but he wants to take his time. He's in no rush. I do feel like a promotion should pick him up sooner rather than later because of the name, because of the way he fights. His fights are very entertaining. Newell is back. He wins his first fight in well over a year, and he's doing the whole thing like he should be signed. But I don't think the UFC is going to sign him. Unfortunately, they gave him the shot on Contender Series. It did not work out, and I just kind of feel like that was their olive branch, if you will. Okay, we're going to give you a shot in Contender Series. If you win this fight, then we'll talk. He didn't win. I don't foresee them doing this. Now, a Bellator or a PFL fighting in his home state of Connecticut or nearby in the tri-state area, that would make a lot of sense because he sells a lot of tickets. But for whatever reason, I know he was talking to Bellator. It's just not. It just doesn't seem like it's in the cards right now. We told you about the Yoel Romero thing last week. I was sort of digesting it on the fly. We'll see if he actually collects the money on that one. Something tells me he won't get the majority of the money. But even if he gets $1 million of that 27.45, that's a huge victory for Yoel Romero. And that's validation. That's a middle finger to everyone who called him a cheater, who said that he was guilty before innocent. So kudos to him and kudos to his manager, Abraham Kawa, and his lawyer, Howard Jacobs, for fighting for his innocence and maybe getting a few dollars out of it. Last week, the UFC announced that Chris Cyborg versus Felicia Spencer is going to happen on July 27th in Edmonton. That's on the Max Holloway, Frankie Edgar card. I feel like it's a little too soon for Felicia. She's a legit prospect. She's very good. Obviously, she was open to the fight if she got paid. I hope she's getting paid. She's been a little reluctant to talk about it all, and I understand she's new. Chris Cyborg hasn't signed a new contract. She hasn't signed a new deal, so we'll see what that translates into. We'll see if this could very well be her last fight in the UFC. If she loses, it could be. If she wins, she gets all the leverage back, all the momentum back. So that's a huge fight for her and a huge opportunity for Felicia Spencer to make a name for herself. That's July 27th. On July 13th, they announced that Aspen Ladd is going to headline the Sacramento card against Jermaine Durandamy. I understand some of the fans are down on Jermaine. Faber could easily headline that card. He's a little wrong, though. I do believe you get $25K for headlining a card. So, but maybe that's just not justifiable enough to go an extra 2 rounds. So that's going to be the headliner for that one. They talked about Brian Ortega versus Jeremy Stevens headlining the July 20th card in San Antonio, but I'm told that Brian Ortega isn't quite 100% just yet. So maybe that's the fight that they want him to come back to. And I personally like that fight much better than the Zabit Magomed Sharipov fight that has been rumored and bandied about a little bit, I would say. And this is no knock on Stevens, but maybe ease him in a little bit against another guy who's coming off of a loss or two and not, an absolute rising star, a stud like Zabit Magomed Sharipov. The main event for the June 14th Bellator card will, in fact, be Neiman Gracie versus Roy McDonald. I like this very much. I like the fact that I love Chael, I love Lyoto, but the title should always be last. And that's a title fight. That's a welterweight title fight. It should always be last, in my opinion. MSG, you got to make the belt important. You got to prop it up there. It's a special thing. And so I feel like, yes, they may not be as big. And although I would argue that the Rory stuff that happened after the Fitch fight elevated that fight and made it more interesting, I get that Chael and Lyoto are bigger names, longtime UFC guys, whatever. The belt should always be most important. I feel strongly about that. Now, there are special circumstances. UFC 196 was special. There have been, UFC 202 special. But for the most part, the belt, in my opinion, should always be last. And I like the fact that they've done this in the past where the belt wasn't last, and I criticized them for it. So I feel like I should give them props for it as well. UFC 238 is this weekend. I am off to Chicago on Thursday. Let's take a look at that lineup. Could we take a look at that before we go? Corporate Jake telling me 2 minutes. Are you serious? The gall. The absolute gall. It's headlined by Marlon Moraes versus Henry Cejudo for the bantamweight. Oh, there's that song. There's that music for the UFC bantamweight title. So the prelims start at 6:15 on ESPN Plus. How about the 8 o'clock prelims? And that fight right over there, Tatiana Suarez against Nina Ansaroff. Maybe a number one contender fight, although I feel like Michelle's going to slide in there. I feel like the Karate Hottie is going to slide in there. But anyway, that's an important fight at 115 pounds, Tatiana Suarez versus Nina Ansaroff. And then, of course, the main card exclusively on ESPN Plus, Henry Cejudo versus Marlon Moraes for the vacant UFC bantamweight title. Could this mean the end of the flyweight division? Could this mean that the flyweight division is no more if Henry Cejudo wins? Does a win for Marlon Moraes mean that the flyweight division remains? I don't know. Slowly but surely, they seem to be getting rid of all the flyweights, so I kind of feel like it's fait accompli. But there's the lineup. There's the main card, Valentina Shevchenko against Jessica Ai for the women's flyweight title. Tony Ferguson versus Donald Cerrone. In the people's main event, Jimmy Rivera against Piotr Yan. What a great fight that is at 135. And again, Tai Tuivasa returning against Blagoy Ivanov. We didn't have the rest of the prelims up there, but also of note, Pedro Munoz against Aljamain Sterling and Alexa Grasso against Karolina Kowalkiewicz. I also really like the Calvin Kattar fight against one Ricardo Lamas. And how about our friend of the program, Joanne Calderwood, jerking the curtain against Caitlin Chukagian? What's up with that? First fight, Joanne Calderwood, Caitlin Chukagian? Questionable at best. So that is this Saturday. Also this weekend, it's the PFL returning to the ESPN family of networks. That's PFL 2019 Week 3. And the main event features one Vinny Magalhães, other notable names, Satoshi Ishii making his promotional debut. Jared Rosholt is on the card as well. Hani Marks, Alex Nicholson on the card, and Francimar Barroso. There's some of the names. Prelim starts 7 o'clock on ESPN2, and the main card starts 9 p.m. on ESPN Plus, the platform that we built. Invicta FC, also this weekend. LFA, also this weekend. And most important of all, June 7th, Friday. Like I said, in case you missed it, first ever Helwani Roadshow. It's going to be Stipe Miocic, Ben Askren, Eddie Alvarez, Wonderboy Thompson, Paul Felder. Trivia challenge for the NWO, the Nose World Order belt. 5 guys, down to 4 guys, down to 2 guys, down to 1. And that's Friday at Lincoln Hall. Tickets sold out. Maybe they're going on the black market. The what is it? The second whatever market. Yeah, what is it called?
Secondary market?
Yeah, that's what the kids call it. I don't know anything about that. All I know it's sold out, so I'm happy about that. And I'm looking forward to it, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Much like today's show. A lot of fun. I feel like I've been talking a lot and my throat is hurting. All right. Well, I want to thank everyone who tuned in. I want to thank everyone who stopped by. I'm off to Chicago on Thursday morning. I am looking forward to that. Thank you very much to all our guests today. Thank you again to all of you. Thank you very much to one Anthony Smith. Get well soon. Incredible hand x-ray that was. Wow. Thank you very much to Triple G. Good luck this weekend against the Canadian Steve Rolls. Thank you very much to Tai Tuivasa. Good luck this weekend at UFC 238. Thank you very much to Urijah Faber. Good luck to him on July 13th. And thank you very much to Nate Diaz. Good luck to him on August 17th. If you missed anything, check it out. YouTube, Twitter, iTunes, the app, all those places and more. You missed anything, go check it out immediately after the show. Also, radio show on Saturday, 6 to 8. Can't wait. Back next week, same time and place. Until I say peace, I'm out of here.